Chapter 706. Don't even think about snatching this beast from me. The short old man leaped into the sky and attacked in a domineering manner. His hands were like bones, but they were as fast as lightning. In an instant, he slapped the 3 life immortals 3 times. The 3 life immortals were early human profound realm experts. They were in charge of a region. They were enraged when they saw the short old man's arrogance. Their angry expressions had just appeared, but when they saw the 3 bloody handprints coming at them, the 3 of them broke out in a cold sweat. Blood void handprint. You're Shui Kongzi. The 3 of them took out their immortal treasures without hesitation. However, their treasures were smashed by the bloody handprints. The 3 of them felt a pain in their chests and fell heavily to the ground. Although they weren't seriously injured, their breathing was chaotic. The impact of the 3 life immortals hitting the ground caused the entire Shaozi star to tremble. Shui Kongzi. This is Shaozi star, not a place for you to act presumptuously. Master Yun and the other 2 Shaozi star fate immortals took a step forward and looked at the short old man solemnly. The short old man's name was Shui Kongzi. He was a great devil in the Eastern Heaven immortal world. He had killed countless people and was rewarded with 2 billion Dao crystals. Although he was a mid-human profound realm expert, he was only half a step away from the late human profound realm. He had killed more than 10 life immortal old monsters. He was definitely a ruthless person. Even some late human profound realm old monsters would be afraid of him and wouldn't want to get involved with him. Among the life immortals present, there were only 2 late human profound realm experts. They weren't Shaozi star fate immortals, so they didn't want to interfere with Shui Kongzi's business. Life immortal Wei's eyes were extremely solemn. He immediately protected Ouyang Nguan behind him. He was a mid-human profound realm expert and had a Dao weapon, but he was still no match for Shui Kongzi. Don't worry. I just happened to pass by the sky-level trading city and found a true spirit blood goose here. I got excited and came to join in the fun. I don't have any intention to kill. I'm in a good mood today, so I won't kill anyone. Shui Kongzi laughed and licked his lips as he looked at the true spirit blood goose that was about to fly. Little guy, I've been wanting a true spirit blood goose for a long time. Do you want to come with me? That voice carried the ability to bewitch. Shui Kongzi's eyes turned crimson, and a red light shot toward the true spirit blood goose like lightning. Extreme Intent Realm. Ning Fan's eyes widened in astonishment. The Extreme Intent Realm was the power that came from the heavenly tribulation. Bone Sovereign possessed such strength, and it was unexpected that Shui Kongzi possessed it as well. Moreover, Shui Kongzi's Extreme Realm strength was thousands of times stronger than the Bone Emperor's. As soon as Shui Kongzi sensed Shui Kongzi's G-Realm strength, Shui Yan's body trembled, and she no longer dared to resist. Shui Kongzi nodded with satisfaction. He recalled the red lightning and took out a beast-taming ring. He placed it on the blood goose's neck and sat on it. Make it bigger. Shui Kongzi commanded. Squawk, squawk. The blood goose chirped obediently and flew into the sky, growing to a length of 500,000 feet. All the cultivators in the sky-level trading city gasped when they saw the giant blood goose in the sky. A life immortal level demon beast. Shui Kongzi nodded his head in satisfaction once again. Then, he looked down at the crowd and looked at Ning Fan. Then, he cupped his fists and greeted him. Little friend Xian Qiu, I'm really grateful to you. If it wasn't for the true spirit blood goose that you gave me, I don't know how long I would have to search for it to get a mount like this. To be honest, I'm not a good person. However, I've always been able to distinguish between kindness and hatred. Since you've helped me find the true spirit blood goose, I owe you a favor. When I came to this star, I once saw the sect master of the 7 Fiends sect in a low-grade star region. He was personally leading a group of people to look for you, wanting to kill you as soon as possible. Hee. I've already obtained the true spirit blood goose and I'm preparing to leave the lesser marsh star. On my way back, I'll help you solve some problems. Shui Kongzi laughed heartily. As soon as he finished speaking, his body flashed and turned into a ray of blood light, flying away from the lesser marsh star. He had really gone to avenge Ning Fan. According to rumors, he had killed all the experts sent by the Seven Fiends sect and even injured the mid-human Profound Realm sect master of the Seven Fiends sect, forcing him to return to the sect for seclusion to heal his wounds. However, that was a story to be told later. Ning Fan looked at the escaping light that Shui Kongzi left in and then looked at the Dao crystal in his hand with a thoughtful expression. Did the sect master of the Seven Fiends sect personally come to seek revenge on me? This Shui Kongzi seems to be forthright, but I wonder if he's really such a straightforward person. Is he going to deal with the Seven Fiends sect when he said that he'll help me solve some problems? Or is he going to inform the Seven Fiends sect about my whereabouts? It was just Ning Fan's first meeting with Shui Kongzi. It was certainly impossible for him to trust him. Fortunately, whether Shui Kongzi was kind or malicious, Ning Fan was not afraid. Whether the sect master of the Seven Fiends sect chased after him or not, Ning Fan was not afraid. He only needed to use the Black Devil escape and he would be able to escape openly without being afraid of being pursued by any life immortal realm cultivators. Of course, if Shui Kongzi really helps him to deal with the Seven Fiends sect, Ning Fan would definitely remember this favor. After keeping the 200 million Dao crystals, Ning Fan looked at the expressions of the life immortals present and fell into deep thought. The life immortals present were already convinced that even though Ning Fan's luck was not good, his abilities were astonishing and he had the means to identify the quality of the beast vaults. Some of the life immortals were still waiting for him to cut out the powerful demon beasts to purchase. However, Master Yun and the other life immortals of the Lesser Marsh Star were looking at him with complicated expressions. They wanted to see him continue to cut out the beast vaults, but they were also afraid that he would take away all the good things, making them feel heartache. Ning Fan fell into silence. Shui Kongzi's Dao was extreme. He would do anything to the extreme. The Dao of luck also had extreme changes. Things will always move in the opposite direction when they reach an extreme. Ning Fan was seriously thinking about this principle. If he continues to cut out the precious spiritual beasts, he was afraid that he would offend the 3 life immortals of the Lesser Marsh Star. He still wanted to participate in the auction. He did not want to cause any more trouble. After thinking for a while, Ning Fan held the small black golden sword and bought another 21 beast vaults. He only cut out 2 of them and both of them were true spirit mounts. He sold them to 2 life immortals and earned another 200 million Dao crystals. As for the remaining 19 beast vaults, he gave them to the 3 true immortals of the Lesser Marsh Star. Ning Fan did not say much. However, which old monster here was not a shrewd person? All of them knew what Ning Fan's intention was. Needless to say, the demon beasts and devil beasts hidden in these 19 beast vaults were certainly precious. Ning Fan bought them but did not take them. Instead, he gave them to Master Yun and the other 2 life immortals. Master Yun and the other 2 life immortals immediately looked at Ning Fan with a friendly smile. After bidding farewell to Ouyang Nguan, Ning Fan left the Immortal Luck gambling house and found a temporary palace to settle down in for seclusion. Things will always move in the opposite direction when they reach an extreme. Perhaps he could cut out all the precious beast vaults and earn billions of Dao crystals. However, he definitely would not be able to bring these Dao crystals out of the Lesser Marsh Star with his life. After visiting the Immortal Luck gambling house once, Ning Fan already had 420 million Dao crystals. With such wealth, it would not be difficult for him to bid for the star plate of the ancient realm. He just had to wait for a year before the auction would begin. Inside the temporary palace, Ning Fan dismissed all the female cultivators who were serving him. Then, with a sway of his body, he entered the profound Yin world. The empty thatched hut always reminded Ning Fan of the lady who had already left. A trace of longing rose in his heart. However, he quickly hid it deep in his heart. Today, he did not come here to see the treasures and think of her. He came here to cut the medicinal herbs. Ouyang Nguan helped him cover it up and didn't reveal the elixirs in the 6 herb vaults to the world. Since they were not exposed, it saved him a lot of trouble. Ning Fan really wanted to know what kind of spiritual medicines were sealed in the 6 medicinal herbs vaults that could make Ouyang Nuan's face turn solemn. Even if she cut out a 3,000 years old immortal peach tree, Ouyang Nuan still looked indifferent. However, one should know that the market price of a 3,000 years old immortal peach was 500 million Dao crystals. There were dozens of immortal peaches on the tree, but Ouyang Nuan did not care at all. Is this lady too rich, or does she have no concept of money at all? When he thought about how the dignified sect master of the Black Devil clan, an old devil with a true immortal realm cultivation base, actually held a grudge over 1 billion Dao crystals, he felt speechless. Thinking about it carefully, the one who would hold a grudge over such a boring matter should be the old devil. The person who seems to be the stingiest is actually the person with the broadest heart. He always tolerated the sinful disciple who betrayed him. Speaking of which, after all these years, Ming Kei should have already returned to the immemorial Dark Sparrow clan. With her royal bloodline, she would most likely become a demon ancestor with ancestral bloodline after awakening her blood 3 times. After awakening her blood, that little girl might already be at the life immortal realm. After 100 years or even a few thousand years, I can only look up to that little girl. I still need to work harder to improve my cultivation base. Ning Fan cleared his mind. He turned his hand and condensed his Dao power, turning it into the memory-severing Dao sword. He took out a medicinal herb vault and began to carefully cut out the stone clothes of the divine treasure vault. Gradually, a golden apple came into his sight. Ning Fan's eyes widened. He had heard of this fruit before. This fruit was called the Golden Divine Fruit. It used to grow in the ancient heavenly court. Before the heavenly court was destroyed, it was rumored that the heavenly deities of the ancient heavenly court often consumed the golden divine fruit to temper their bodies. The medicinal power of a golden divine fruit was enough to raise a nirvana realm cultivator's body refinement realm by 1 heavenly layer. The value of a golden divine fruit was equivalent to an emergence pill. This fruit was even more precious than the emergence pill. Since the ancient heavenly court had been destroyed, this fruit had already gone extinct. It was basically a priceless item. This fruit is really good. Ning Fan was not in a hurry to cut open the other 5 medicinal treasures. Instead, he patiently consumed the golden divine fruit and slowly refined it. He activated the power of the ancestral talisman and borrowed its power to devour the golden divine fruit. Of course, the speed at which he consumed it was extremely fast. 1 month passed in the profound Yin world. Ning Fan suddenly opened his eyes. Golden rays of light shot out from them. He suddenly rose to his feet. His ancient devil essence chi sword. His ancient devil cultivation base had broken through to the 3rd heavenly layer of the revered devil realm. After resting for a few days, Ning Fan went to cut open the 2nd medicinal treasure. After cutting open the layers of stone, a purple gourd appeared in front of his eyes. The surface of the gourd was surrounded by layers of purple qi. Ning Fan's eyes were filled with doubt. He did not know what kind of spiritual medicine this gourd was. When he wanted to pick up the gourd to take a closer look, he realized that it was as heavy as a mountain. He could not lift it at all. His physical body at the 3rd heavenly layer of the revered devil realm could not even lift a gourd. Each of the purple qi on the gourd was as heavy as a mountain. These purple qi are innate qi. This gourd is an innate spiritual item. Ning Fan's eyes widened in astonishment. Innate spiritual items were the materials used to refine innate treasures. Innate treasures also had another name, the treasures of immortal emperors. Immortal emperors' treasures were not as common as other magic treasures. Even an immortal emperor would only have 2 to 3 innate treasures at most. From this, it could be seen how rare this treasure was. If this gourd were to be taken out in public, it would probably cause a commotion immediately. It might even attract immortal emperors to snatch the gourd and refine it into a treasure. Ning Fan smiled bitterly. Could it be that the reason why Ouyang Nuan protected me was because she was afraid that others would know about this purple gourd? Since I can't carry this gourd anymore, I might as well leave it in the profound Yin world. If I have the qualifications to refine innate treasures in the future, I will use this gourd to refine treasures. Ning Fan pointed at it with his finger. The soil under the gourd immediately surged upwards and lifted the gourd. In an instant, a massive gourd mountain appeared in front of Ning Fan. The purple gourd was placed on the peak of the gourd mountain. After placing the purple gourd in place, Ning Fan went to another place. He took out the third medicinal treasure and slowly cut off the stone cover. The third medicinal treasure was a 1,000,000 years old spiritual herb that looked like a Ganoderma. It was shrouded in green light. Ning Fan did not know the name of this herb. Hence, he decided to call it Green Ganoderma. Ning Fan held the green Ganoderma in his hand and remained silent. A 1,000,000 years old spiritual herb had extremely strong medicinal power. If a cultivator's physical body was strong enough to withstand the medicinal power, they could directly consume it and become an immortal with the help of the vast medicinal power. Unfortunately, Ning Fan did not have such a strong physical body. Even Ming Ke would need to cultivate to the 8th and 9th fragmentation realm before she dared to forcefully consume a 1,000,000 years old spiritual herb with her pill devil body. This herb was temporarily useless to him. However, if Ning Fan consumes it when he becomes an immortal, it would certainly boost his magic power and allow him to break through the shackles of the mortal profound realm. I'll keep it for myself when I become an immortal. Ning Fan made up his mind. He sealed the green Ganoderma and kept it in a jade box. Then, he took out the fourth medicinal treasure. He waved the memory-severing Dao sword again and slowly cut off the stone cover. The fourth tuft of spiritual herb was another 1,000,000 years old spiritual herb. It was in the shape of a ginseng. It had small wings and was surrounded by bloody light. I don't know what this herb is. Let's call it blood-wing ginseng for now. I'll keep it for myself when I become an immortal. The blood-wing ginseng was also sealed and kept away by Ning Fan. He consecutively took out 2 tufts of 1,000,000 years old spiritual herbs. However, he did not recognize any of them. He could not help but admit that he should learn how to identify ancient herbs. Perhaps it would be a good choice to go to the medicine sect to learn pill refinement techniques. However, Ning Fan did not have the mood to do those things for the time being. His goal was to head to the ancient realm to search for the immortal soul grass. Ning Fan took out the 5th medicinal treasure and cut it open bit by bit. What appeared before his eyes was an immortal peach tree. It was a withered immortal peach tree. Although the tree was already dead, there were still 2 fragrant peaches on it. This wasn't a 3,000-year-old immortal peach or a 6,000-year-old immortal peach, but a 9,000-year-old immortal peach. A 3,000-year-old peach could help a life immortal delay a heavenly tribulation for 3,000 years. A 6,000-year-old immortal peach could help a perfected immortal delay the heavenly tribulations for 6,000 years. A 9,000-year-old immortal peach could help immortal venerables, immortal kings, and immortal emperors delay their heavenly tribulations for 9,000 years. What Ning Fan obtained was just a withered immortal peach tree which could no longer produce more immortal peaches. However, just 2 9,000-year-old Saturn peaches were enough to attract the attention of perfected immortals and immortal emperors. Innate purple gourd, 9,000 years old immortal peach. If these things are really seen by others, I won't be able to protect them, Ning Fan sighed softly. If it wasn't for Ouyang Wan recognizing what was inside the medicine, he would have been in big trouble. If one's luck was good, it might attract a great calamity instead. If his luck was bad, he might be able to save his life. When mortals died, they could reincarnate. The death of an immortal was eternal. Ning Fan remained silent for a long time. Eventually, he took out the 6th medicine. After removing the stone layer bit by bit, what fell into his eyes was a fruit that emitted 9-colored light. It was only the size of a longan, but it had the power to bewitch the heavenly fate. When Ning Fan looked at the 9-colored dragon eye, he felt as if he had seen something unbelievable. No, that's not right. What Ouyang Wan wanted to hide for him was not the innate purple gourd nor the 9,000-year-old immortal peach. Even if those 2 items were seen by others, Ning Fan would at most not be able to keep them. If he hands them over obediently, he might not necessarily die. However, Once this item appears in the world, it was unknown how many immortal emperors would fight for it. When that time comes, rivers of blood would flow in countless star regions. The origin of this 9-colored dragon eye was extraordinary. Any pill refinement master who was at the 6th revolution and above would certainly have heard of this rare treasure. This fruit was called the heavenly luck fruit. It grew on the heavenly luck tree. This tree was born according to the heavenly fate. It was a mysterious tree in ancient times. According to legends, this fruit could greatly increase a cultivator's illusory luck. At the end of the path of cultivation, most of the time, it was not aptitude that mattered but luck. In ancient times, many immortal emperors did not have excellent aptitudes. There were even many people with mediocre aptitudes who cultivated to the immortal emperor realm step by step. However, it was rare for immortal emperors to have extremely bad luck. Most of them had 7-colored luck. Those with extremely bad luck would naturally have almost no luck. Without luck, it would be very difficult for them to cultivate to that legendary realm. Of course, there were also some people with extremely bad luck who forcefully became immortal emperors. Luck was not omnipotent, but it was indeed very important. Ning Fan held the heavenly luck fruit in his palm. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath. Aptitude, temperament, hard work, luck, fate. There were too many factors that determined a cultivator's success. To stand at the peak of 1 billion worlds like immortal sovereign Zido, it was not something that could be achieved by just saying, I will work harder than anyone else. No one could be compared to Zido. His aptitude, temperament, luck and fate were unparalleled. It was precisely because of this that he could stand at the peak of all living beings after putting in so much effort. Luck, huh? Ning Fan suddenly opened his eyes which shone brightly. He swallowed the heavenly luck fruit in one gulp and sat cross-legged on the ground, rapidly refining the medicinal power of the fruit. Gradually, wisps of light of providence rose from his body. Under Ning Fan's will, the black light of luck temporarily turned purple in color. As for the purple light of luck, it gradually flew to the sky and condensed into a gigantic purple umbrella. The umbrella of luck. 1-colored immortal luck. Just a single heavenly luck fruit had raised Ning Fan's luck from mortal luck to immortal luck. A gigantic purple umbrella of luck appeared in the sky above the entire Shaozi star. Countless cultivators raised their heads to look at the sky. Most of them were at a loss. Only those life immortal realm experts and a few void fragmentation realm old monsters knew what this umbrella represented. Someone has condensed the umbrella of luck on my Shaozi star. His luck has broken through to the 1st-colored immortal luck. Who is this person? Among the life immortal realm, there are very few who can condense the umbrella of luck. Only those who have reached the true immortal realm would be able to condense the umbrella of luck one after another. Could it be that there is a true immortal senior who is living in seclusion on my Shaozi star to cultivate the technique of luck? All of a sudden, all the life immortal realm experts looked at each other in shock. However, none of them dared to inquire about the identity of that true immortal senior. What a joke! Since that person is living in seclusion here, he naturally does not want others to know his identity. Aren't you just looking for trouble by investigating him when you know that he is unwilling? Even though they did not dare to investigate, the 3 of them still cautiously issued a secret order. From today onwards, the cultivators of Shaozi Star were not allowed to offend those cultivators who looked ordinary. The more ordinary they looked, the more likely they were to be true immortal old monsters. After all, how could a real true immortal show you how powerful he is? The word powerful was not written on his face. On the Shaozi Star, only one person knew who condensed the umbrella of luck. When Young-won, who was bathing in her room, heard the exclamations of the people on Shaozi Star, she immediately draped her wet long hair and wrapped herself in a bath towel. She walked to the window and looked at the incomparably dazzling umbrella of luck in the vast starry sky. The corner of her mouth curved into a warm smile. A furry ball dived into her bosom at the right time and rubbed itself against her bosom. Fortunately, it was a female, otherwise, Young-won would have sent it flying away. She hated all male animals. Little ball Ning, look quickly. Isn't that umbrella beautiful? Remember, that's the umbrella of luck that your father condensed. Oh, Yang Nuan's eyes were filled with teasing. There was no affection at all. At most, she only had a good impression of him, which was at the level of a friend. What she said was just a joke between friends. If Ning Fan knew that Oh Youngwon had found him a little furry daughter, he would probably be speechless. A year had passed in the outside world. The commotion caused by the umbrella of luck had already calmed down. In the profound Yin world, Ning Fan exhaled a mouthful of turbid qi. He slowly stood up and shook off the dust on his body. With a thought in his mind, his luck was still hidden in black. He spread his palm and with another thought in his mind, an imprint of a purple umbrella slowly appeared on his left palm. Ning Fan had never obtained the cultivation method of luck. Thus, he naturally did not know that when mortal luck is cultivated to the extreme, it would turn into an umbrella and turn into immortal luck. However, he was very sure that his current luck had already transcended from mortal luck and reached the level of immortal luck. Immortal luck, huh? Not bad. The auction is about to begin, right? Ning Fan's body flashed and he left the profound Yin world. He summoned his maidservant and casually asked for some information. According to the maidservant, there were still 7 days before the auction would begin. According to the maidservant, there was a true immortal realm old monster hiding in the Shaozi star now. He was cultivating the technique of luck and condensing the umbrella of luck there. According to the maidservant, about 1 year ago, the cultivators of the Seven Fiends sect were ambushed by an expert in the Shaozi star region. Other than the sect master of the Seven Fiends sect who managed to escape with severe injuries, all the other experts were killed. It was said that the expert who ambushed the Seven Fiends sect was riding a blood-red bird. The first piece of information was useful to Ning Fan. Ning Fan completely ignored the second piece of information. After all, he was that mysterious true immortal. As for the third piece of information, Ning Fan was almost certain that the person who ambushed the Seven Fiends sect was Xue Kongzi, who said that he would return the favor a year ago. From the looks of it, that Xue Kongzi was really a forthright person. He actually helped me solve the problem of the Seven Fiends sect. If I have the chance in the future, I will return the favor to him. 7 days later, the auction would begin. Ning Fan's body flashed and he flew towards the golden palace in the sky. Before he entered the auction palace, the cultivators guarding the entrance of the palace had already cupped their fists towards Ning Fan respectfully. Senior, are you old ancestor Qian Qiu? Yes. I see. Senior Qian Qiu can head to the VIP seats on the 3rd floor of the auction palace. The 3rd floor. Ning Fan was slightly surprised. Only those with a background of at least life immortal realm could go to the VIP seats on the 3rd floor. With Ning Fan's cultivation base and background, he could only go to the 2nd floor at most. Yes. The 3 old ancestors have instructed us not to neglect Senior Qian Qiu since you are a distinguished guest. The guard said respectfully. Is that so? Ning Fan did not say much. Under the guidance of a few maids, he entered the auction palace and went straight to the VIP seats on the 3rd floor. Inwardly, he was wondering if the 3 life immortals of the Shaozi star were so friendly to him because of the 19 beast vaults or because of the medicine sect. While he was pondering, a young man in green robes in front of him gently waved at him with a bright smile. That young man was sitting alone on a long chair with a small fur ball in his arms. Taoist priest, please sit here. Oh, Young Wan was sitting on a long chair which could seat 2 to 3 people. However, if she was unwilling, who would dare to sit with her? Sure enough, the life immortals of the Shaozi star would only give me special treatment because of the medicine sect. If I also have the cultivation base of a life immortal realm, Ning Fan sighed softly. He did not reject Oh Young Wan's invitation. He walked towards her and sat beside her. All of a sudden, a cold gaze came from one of the seats at the side. Ning Fan frowned slightly and looked towards that seat. He saw a young man in black robes whose hair was tied up with a purple jade bun. The young man was looking at him with an unfriendly and threatening expression. You better stay away from her. The young man in black robes transmitted his voice to him. Her. Ning Fan looked at Young Won who was beside him and thought to himself. Could that young man in black robes be Young Won's pursuer? Behind the young man in black robes stood 4 mid-human profound realm experts. Although this lineup made Ning Fan wary, it was not enough to make him fearful. Ignoring that person, Ning Fan took the spiritual tea on the table and filled a cup for himself. Then, he began to drink it. After being ignored by Ning Fan, the gloomy expression between the brows of the young man in black robes disappeared. Then, he gave an indifferent order to a life immortal realm expert behind him. Find out who that person is. His chi is restrained. My chi is useless against him. He is not an ordinary person. Understood. That life immortal realm expert knelt down towards his young master. Then, his figure suddenly faded and disappeared from the spot. Are you angry? Young Won smiled apologetically. You want to use me as a cover to make that person retreat, huh? Miss Yang, you're really good at scheming. Ning Fan's expression was still indifferent. I didn't scheme against you. Who the hell knew that he followed me here? Uncle Wei has gone missing. I was worried about him and wanted to wait for you to come and discuss it with you. I was so engrossed in this matter that I didn't notice that they had also come. Young Won transmitted her voice to Ning Fan. Gone missing? Ning Fan's eyes flashed. No wonder he did not see that life immortal Wei today. It turned out that he had actually gone missing. However, how could a dignified mid-human profound realm life immortal realm expert go missing for no reason? That life immortal Wei was Yang Nuan's guard. It was impossible for him to leave on his own. In other words, someone had either killed or captured him. Do you have his life plate? Yes. His life plate is still intact. Young Won said worriedly. Capture him alive. Is there any way to find out his approximate location? My medicine sect has a secret technique that allows us to sense Uncle Wei's location with his life plate. He isn't on the Shaozi star but he is still in the Shaozi star region. This is all I can sense. Ning Fan remained silent. That life immortal Wei was most likely captured by someone else. Unless the other party was a true immortal realm expert, only then would they be able to capture him in the Shaozi star without anyone noticing. If the other party was a life immortal realm expert, he would not be able to hide from the life immortal realm senses. Then, he would have to make that life immortal Wei leave the Shaozi star willingly before capturing him alive. Who is the other party? What is their objective? Ning Fan was not a person who liked to cause trouble. However, when he saw Young Won's worried expression, he could not help but sigh. He owed her his life. No matter how troublesome this matter is, he could not avoid it alone. Why did you come to me for a discussion? Ning Fan asked with a frown. I trust you. I think you will definitely help me. Young Won smiled. Who are those people? They are from the Chiu clan. They are the allies of the medicine sect. When she mentioned the Chiu clan, Young Won unconsciously frowned. Chiu clan. Ning Fan was puzzled. You don't know about the Chiu clan? The Chiu clan is a large clan in Eastern Heaven. There are 3 true immortals in the clan. How could you not know about it? Young Won expressed her surprise. Any cultivator of Eastern Heaven who has cultivated to Ning Fan's level would definitely know about the Chiu clan. Are they suspicious? Ning Fan's eyes seemed to have understood something. He glanced at the seat beside him and saw the warm smile of the black-robed young man. This smile was completely different from the previous cold smile. Maybe. Maybe not. I'm not sure. I want all the information about the life immortal Wei and the specific time of his disappearance. Alright. Young Won thought for a while and took out a jade slip from her storage pouch, passing it to Ning Fan. Ning Fan's spirit sense went into the jade slip and began to read it carefully. Wei Qi, the 7th slave of the sect master of the medicine sect. He is one of the 19 medicine guards of the sect. All the medicine guards of the sect have the surname Wei and follow the sect master's surname. The sect master's name is Wei Wuji. He took Wei Qi as his slave on a certain day in a certain star region. He went missing 3 months ago. After reading each piece of information, Ning Fan fell into silence. Wei Wuji. Wei Wuji. The sect master of the medicine sect is actually called Wei Wuji, the sect master of the medicine sect. This identity is similar to the old devil in terms of cultivation base. His strength might not be any weaker than the old devil. If he really owes the old devil money on purpose, the old devil might not be able to get it. Ning Fan took out a yellowing promissory note speechlessly. After thinking for a while, he placed it in front of Yang Wan. Miss Yang, do you find the handwriting of this promissory note familiar? Yes. This is my master's handwriting. A promissory note. This is. When she saw the content of the promissory note, Yang Wan's pretty face instantly turned red. What's wrong? Are you Han Yuanji's disciple? Yes. Ning Fan thought for a while and felt that there was no need to hide his identity. Since the old devil asked him to find Wei Wuji to collect the debt, he was not afraid of exposing his identity. In other words, Wei Wuji was not an enemy. Can I help my master to return the money to you? I will return you 2 billion. No, 10 billion Dao crystals. Yang Wan's tone sounded a little pleading. Chapter 707. Ning Fan calmly looked at Ouyang Nuanyuan. Before, Ouyang Nuanyuan only saw Ning Fan as a friend, but at this moment, when Ning Fan looked at her, her eyes became a bit flustered. This IOU will make things difficult for you. How could Ning Fan not see the complicated changes in Ouyang Nuanyuan's expression? Shame, pleading, annoyance, helplessness. With Ning Fan's wisdom, he could naturally guess that this IOU was not as simple as it looked on the surface. Ouyang Nuanyuan did not answer and only nodded with a blushing face. I will give you 10 billion Dao crystals, give me the IOU, okay? She was actually begging with soft words. Ning Fan did not speak, but he was sure of one thing. This IOU truly made things difficult for Ouyang Nuanyuan. After knowing that the person who owed him money was the sect master of the medicine school, Ning Fan faintly felt that the old monster gave him this IOU with a deep meaning. Perhaps there was something Ning Fan did not know behind this IOU. Of course, the old monster's original intention was to help Ning Fan find a backer in the eastern sky. Perhaps he wanted to tie Ning Fan and the medicine school together so that Ning Fan would have a safe journey. Ning Fan understood the old monster's concern. As for this debt, Ning Fan was not prepared to help the old monster collect it. Hiss. Ning Fan casually tore the IOU into countless pieces. With a wave of his hand, the fluttering pieces of paper fell to the ground and were burned by the black demonic flame, turning into ashes. When the wind blew, they turned into dust and disappeared without a trace. Why did you destroy the IOU? Ouyang Nuanyuan was startled. She didn't understand why Ning Fan destroyed the IOU. It is an eyesore. Ning Fan was still expressionlessly tasting the spirit tea. He was not shameless enough to use a IOU to make things difficult for his benefactor. So what if it was 1 billion Dao crystals? So what if it was 10 billion Dao crystals? It could not change his principles. Thank you. Ouyang Nuanyuan quickly regained her composure and smiled warmly as usual. Just a small matter. Your hairy ball is already a harmonious spirit. It has only been a year, but its cultivation has grown quite fast. Ning Fan touched Hairy Ball in Ouyang Nuanyuan's bosom. Hairy Ball was originally a true blood spirit, so it was born with a proud character and never let anyone other than Ouyang Nuanyuan touch it. However, Ning Fan was a demon ancestor, so Hairy Ball instinctively feared Ning Fan. Not only did it not resist, but it also revealed an obedient expression. Call me daddy, Ouyang Wan ordered with a smile. Oh. Is Furball calling for daddy? Ning Fan looked at Ouyang Wan speechlessly. He retracted his hand, shook his head and closed his eyes to rest. Yang Nuan's mood suddenly improved when she saw Ning Fan being humiliated. She happily teased Furball. The gloom brought about by Wei Qi's disappearance had dissipated a lot. Time ticked by, and gradually, the third floor of the auction palace was filled with people. On the auction stage below, the sage-like luck master coughed lightly. In an instant, the entire place fell silent. The Shaozi planet's auction is held once every 10 years. Many of you here are regular customers of the auction, but there are also many who are attending it for the first time. Therefore, I still have to explain the rules. You're not allowed to hurt others during the auction. On the Shaozi planet, killing and robbing was forbidden. All auction items go to the highest bidder. If any fellow Taoist doesn't have enough Tao crystals on him, he can use other items to offset the price. If you win something but don't have the money to pay, don't blame this old man for being ruthless. Master Luck's cold eyes swept across the entire place. Many void fragmentation realm old monsters' eyes trembled, not daring to look him in the eye. Alright, these are the rules. Next, the auction will begin. As soon as Master Luck finished speaking, 2 rogue immortal ladies carried a treasure onto the stage. It was a dragon pearl, the dragon pearl of a life immortal realm demonic dragon. Ning Fan's eyes turned cold. As expected of a heaven-grade trading city. It was impossible for an auction of such a high level to be auctioned off for ordinary items. This is the dragon pearl of a mid-human profound realm demonic dragon. If a void fragmentation realm fellow refines it, it can increase your magic power by 100,000 Tao crystals. The starting price is 1 million Tao crystals. As soon as the price was announced, many void fragmentation realm old monsters sucked in a cold breath. To some void fragmentation realm experts, 1 million Tao crystals was a huge sum of money. However, immediately after that, the bidding voices rose one after another. 5 million. 2 million. 2 million. 3 million, 5 million. 10 million. The one who made the bid was not a void fragmentation realm expert but a life immortal realm old man on the 3rd floor. Countless void fragmentation realm old monsters cursed silently. You're a dignified life immortal realm senior. Why are you fighting with a junior for 100,000 life periods of magic power? Sensing everyone's confusion, the life immortal elder smiled and said, I once found an ancient pill recipe. This life immortal dragon pearl is one of the main ingredients. Fine. Senior life immortal was obviously determined to get the dragon pearl, so who would dare to fight with him? Ning Fan was also very interested in that dragon pearl. If 10 million Tao crystals could increase his magic power by 100,000 yuan, he would only need a few 100 million Tao crystals to cultivate to the peak of the 9-breaking realm. Currently, he could only increase his magic power by 10,000 yuan by refining 2 million Tao crystals. In terms of price-performance ratio, the Dragon Balls were naturally higher. However, since a life immortal realm expert was participating in the auction, Ning Fan did not want to compete with them. His wealth was not as strong as that of the life immortal. In the end, the Dragon Ball would still belong to the life immortal. He just raised the price and created an enemy for no reason. Furball's father, do you want the dragon pearl? Yang Nuan asked with a smile. Ning Fan nearly choked on a mouthful of spiritual tea. Furball's father? He had a new nickname, not really. Before Ning Fan could finish his words, Yang Nuan had already bid softly. 11 million. As soon as they heard someone challenging a life immortal realm expert, everyone turned to look at Yang Nuan. Even that life immortal realm expert looked at her angrily. However, when they saw that the person who bid was Yang Nuan, all of them shut their mouths. Even that elderly life immortal realm expert revealed an awkward expression and smiled apologetically at Yang Nuan. Since little friend needs this item, I will reluctantly part with it. Thank you. Yang Nuan stood up and cupped her fists at the elderly life immortal realm expert, looking rather valiant. That elderly life immortal realm expert immediately smiled like a chrysanthemum flower and kept saying, "You're welcome. You're welcome." How would he dare to compete with the disciple of the medicine sect master? Today, he received Ouyang Wan's thanks after giving up a dragon pearl. It made him feel that it was a very wise decision to give up the dragon pearl. Ouyang Wan lightly leaped down from the third floor. Like a fluttering butterfly, she nimbly landed on the jade platform below. After paying the money and keeping the dragon pearl, Ouyang Wan returned to Ning Fan's side and gave it to him with a sweet smile. "This is for you. This, if you treat me as a friend, then don't treat me like an outsider. You weren't so hesitant when you tore up the promissory note. Why didn't you keep the dragon pearl for yourself? With your wealth, it should be easy for you to purchase heavenly ingredients and earthly treasures to break through your cultivation realm, right?" Ning Fan asked. "My body's condition is very complicated. It's not that easy to improve my cultivation realm." Ouyang Wan smiled faintly and did not say anything else. Ning Fan sighed and kept the jade box that contained the dragon pearl into his storage pouch. All of a sudden, he felt a cold and sharp gaze piercing towards him. He turned his head and saw the black-robed young man from Cho clan looking at him with a cold smile. In his hand, there was a jade slip containing information. The life immortal realm expert who left earlier had already returned after collecting the information. "Qian Chouzi, right? My name is Cho Lu. I hope you will remember this name for the rest of your life." After the black-robed young man transmitted his voice, he crushed the jade slip. His early human profound cultivation realm flashed and disappeared. Then, he stood up and left with a flick of his sleeve. However, before he left, he said to Ouyang Wan with a meaningful tone, "You will regret this. Early human profound." Ouyang Wan was slightly surprised. Ning Fan was also slightly surprised. However, when he saw that this person's bone age was 70,000 years old, he revealed a strange expression. It turned out to be an old monster who was 70,000 years old. "I thought he was another peerless young man." Judging from Ouyang Wan's astonishment, this person had just broken through to the life immortal realm not long ago. Did he spend 70,000 years to become an immortal? "I seem to have implicated you. That fellow is very vengeful." Ouyang Wan bit her lips and said, "You only realize now that you have implicated me?" Ning Fan did not know whether to laugh or cry. Could it be that this woman is really slow when it comes to the matters between men and women? "He is the companion that my master has chosen for me. He is the companion that will enter the extreme dance sacred region. However, I don't want to go with you. His thoughts aren't pure. I can feel it. By the way, can you accompany me to the extreme dance sacred region? In another 100 years, the extreme dance sacred region will open. That place is the paradise for the pill refinement masters of the eastern heaven." Ouyang Wan looked at Ning Fan expectantly. However, Ning Fan smiled and shook his head. "After 100 years, I might not even be in the eastern heaven immortal world anymore. What if you are still here?" Ouyang Wan smiled warmly. "If you are still here, can you accompany me? We'll talk about it later, alright? Tell me when you have made up your mind. If you really want to go, I will definitely ask my master to give you that slot." Ouyang Wan did not want to dwell on this issue. She hugged Harry Ball and continued to watch the auction. The items that were auctioned next were immortal treasures, immortal techniques and various fiend god cultivation methods. At this moment, Ning Fan finally knew that fiend god cultivation methods were divided by stars. The highest was 9 stars. It was just 1 star away. It was said that there was a divine tomb in the godly void pavilion where fiend god cultivation methods would often fly out. Unfortunately, most of the cultivation methods that flew out were either 1 or 2 stars. Seeing that Ning Fan knew nothing about the grades of the fiend god cultivation methods, Ouyang Wan told him everything she knew. The Black Demon Art was a 5 stars devil cultivation method, the Corpse Devil Record was a 4 stars devil cultivation method and the Nirvana Scripture was a 6 stars devil cultivation method. As for the yin-yang transformation, he had never heard Ouyang Nuan mention it before. How many stars is the yin-yang transformation? Ning Fan asked hesitantly. Since so many people disdain the yin-yang transformation, the grade of this cultivation method should not be too high. Half a star. Cough cough. Ning Fan choked on his tea once again. The yin-yang transformation that he had painstakingly cultivated was not even 1 star. Was it really that low? Thinking about it, without the yin-yang locket, the yin-yang transformation was really very weak. Without the yin-yang locket, it would be very difficult for Ning Fan to display so many heaven-defying techniques. He would also not be able to fuse ice and fire and combine yin and yang into one. He would also not be able to control the profound yin world and control the steel of sun and moon. However, Ning Fan had the yin-yang locket. This cultivation method was not ordinary. It should be said that it was heaven-defying and terrifying. You. Don't tell me that you cultivated the yin-yang transformation. Ouyang Nuan looked at Ning Fan in disbelief. Ning Fan actually cultivated such a low-grade and wretched devil cultivation method. Yes. Because of some reasons, the first devil cultivation method that I cultivated was the yin-yang transformation. Ning Fan did not deny it and only gave a brief explanation. Oh, Ouyang Nuan was a little depressed. She could almost imagine the scene of Ning Fan plucking her cauldron. Ning Fan sighed softly and did not say anything. The truth was the truth. He did not bother to deny it. The auction was still going on. A day had passed and only 1/3 of the auction had been completed. The next auction item was the emergence pill. Ning Fan valued this pill very much. Previously, Ning Fan did not have enough wealth and he did not have the confidence to obtain this pill. Now, however, he was extremely confident that he could obtain this pill. I don't need to explain the medicinal effects of the emergence pill. The starting price is 30 million Dao crystals. As soon as Master Yun's voice fell, the bidding voices rose one after another like a tidal wave. 31 million. 32 million. 33 million. The price of the emergence pill soared all the way to 69 million Dao crystals. Those who were competing for this pill were all cultivators of the 8-break realm. They knew that as long as they obtained this pill, they could directly break through to the 9-break realm and there was a chance for them to break through to the life immortal realm. 100 million Dao crystals. Ning Fan quietly called out the price. He could see that there were 3 life immortal realm cultivators who were hesitating whether they should bid for this pill for their juniors or not. However, after Ning Fan raised the price to 100 million, the 3 life immortal realm cultivators immediately shook their heads and sighed. They no longer had the intention to bid for this pill. It was not that they could not afford 100 million Dao crystals. It was just that it was not worth it to spend such a huge amount of money for an outsider. With this amount of Dao crystals, they could greatly improve their cultivation bases. When all the void fragmentation realm cultivators saw Ning Fan calling out the price and saw him sitting together with the people of the medicine sect, they neither had the ability nor the courage to continue bidding. Ning Fan got off the jade platform and paid for the pill. Then, he returned to the 3rd floor. Ouyang Nuan looked like she had a lot on her mind. When she saw Ning Fan returning after winning the bid for the emergence pill, she bit her lips and said to him, "The yin-yang transformation is really not a good cultivation method. Why don't you come to the medicine sect? I will ask my master to impart you a 5-star cultivation method to concoct the emergence pill for you. What do you think?" Ning Fan was suddenly stunned. This tone of hers sounded so familiar. Didn't Bei Yao say the same thing in the past? She said that she would give him the strongest cultivation method. He suddenly realized that there was a hint of affection in Ouyang Nuan's eyes. "I appreciate your kindness. However, you have your own path and I have mine. You don't need to help me with anything. We are friends. As a friend, I just want to help you. Is my cultivation method really that bad?" Ning Fan asked with a smile. Others will say that you say that I'm shameless. Yang Nuan bit her lips, not knowing how to answer him. Do you think that I'm shameless? Ning Fan asked with a smile. No. Your heart is very kind and gentle. Even though it's barren, it's full of sunshine. I felt it from the first time I met you. It's enough that you know. What others say has nothing to do with me. Ning Fan quietly drank the spiritual tea with a calm expression. Yang Nuan seemed to have figured something out. She heaved a long sigh of relief and began to play with the little furball again. Then, she apologized to Ning Fan. You must have your reasons. Ning Fan did not answer her. He just looked at the auction hall below. Dazzling items were being auctioned one after another. Eventually, even the Life Immortal Dao fruit was bought by someone. The person who bought the Life Immortal Dao fruit was an old man at the Life Immortal realm who had scars all over his body. The final price was 2 billion Dao crystals. His cultivation base was at the peak of the human profound realm. The reason why he bought the Dao fruit was to advance to the ghost profound realm. Naturally, he would not allow anyone to snatch it from him. This time, even Yang Nuan did not try to snatch the Life Immortal Dao fruit even though she knew that Ning Fan really wanted it. That old monster is a member of the pills sect. He won't care about the reputation of the medicine sect. If we offend him, both you and I will die. Yang Nuan transmitted her voice to him. Pills sect, huh? Ning Fan's eyes narrowed slightly. Indeed, he and the pills sect were enemies on a narrow road. Unfortunately, Ning Fan did not have the strength to make this person stay. Otherwise, he would not mind letting a Life Immortal Realm expert of the pills sect die. On the third day, Master Luck finally began to auction the star disc of a high-grade starfield. Those who would buy a high-grade star disc were mostly Life Immortal Realm experts. The star disc of the ancient star region was bought by Ning Fan at the price of 80 million Dao crystals. It was much less than the expected price. Are you going to the ancient star region? Yang Nuan asked with concern. I'm going. That place is very dangerous, I have no choice but to go. Ning Fan smiled faintly. It was just 4 words but they expressed his determination. Yang Nuan was slightly stunned. Then, she giggled and stroked the little furball in her arms. She then said in a casual tone. Furball's father, if you go to the ancient star region, you must be careful. If you really encounter any difficulties, you can go to the 100 Medicines sect in the Hidden Sea planet and look for an old man who sweeps the floor. His name is Qian Kaiyan. He is an 8th Revolution pill refinement master. Qian Kaiyan. Ning Fan silently remembered this name. He always felt that this name was a little awkward. Whenever he thought of this name, he would imagine a wretched old man who was greedy for money. Ning Fan suddenly remembered that he still had 3 semi-finished emergence pills with him. It seemed like he could ask Qian Kaiyan to concoct them into finished products. However, just thinking about it made him feel that he would be extorted of a lot of money if he asked this person to help him. Take this hairpin. If he doesn't help you, just show it to him and he will help you. Yang Nuan took out a warm jade hairpin and gave it to Ning Fan. Her expression was very calm. However, Ning Fan still noticed that the tips of her ears turned slightly red. This warm jade hairpin was most likely the girl's personal item. Thank you. What are you thanking me for? You promised to help me find Uncle Wei and I will help you as well. We don't owe each other anything. Don't you think so, Furball's father? Yang Nuan gently patted Furball's back. Furball immediately looked at Ning Fan and howled, calling him father. Ning Fan felt helpless. He shifted his gaze away and went to the auction house. He had already gotten what he needed. In fact, he no longer had much interest in the auction. However, he was still very curious about the final item. He really wanted to know what the final item would be. On the 4th day, the auction came to an end. The final item finally appeared. It was a palm-sized formation mark. It lay quietly in the jade box and was sealed by layers of formation light. This item is a corner of the formation mark that a fellow Taoist found in the divine tomb. The formation mark of an immortal emperor. A corner of the formation mark can kill all cultivators below the true immortal realm. However, it can only be used once. The starting price is 10 billion Tao crystals. A few life immortal realm experts who were hiding their identities suddenly breathed rapidly. They came here just for a corner of the formation mark of an immortal emperor. They were buying this formation pattern for the life immortal clan behind them. As long as they had this formation pattern, even a true immortal would fear them. The moment he saw this formation rune, the yin-yang locket in his body suddenly throbbed. His gaze shook. There was an unusually familiar aura in this corner of the formation pattern. The aura of the ancient chaos heavenly emperor. However, the divine ability contained in this corner of the formation pattern did not only contain the power of the yin-yang transformation, but also the power of another cultivation technique. Ancient Chaos Great Emperor was proficient in two cultivation techniques, one was the yin-yang transformation and the other was the chaos loop art. The former was called the yin-yang inheritance. Without the yin-yang locket, the yin-yang transformation was worthless. The latter was called the chaotic truth inheritance by the later generations, and it was the strongest offensive technique of the ancient chaos heavenly emperor. It was the heavenly Tao that was in chaos. The most shocking battle of ancient chaos was when stars appeared in his left eye, right eye and glabella at the same time. The 27 stars turned into moons and he killed 27 immortal sovereigns with a single finger. That magical finger was the offensive technique of the chaotic loop technique. Ning Fan took a light breath, there's no mistaking it. In this corner of the formation, there's the power of yin and yang, as well as the power of chaotic rings. There's no doubt that this was a corner of the formation pattern that ancient chaos heavenly emperor personally laid down. This formation pattern was found in the divine tomb. It's said that there are countless inheritances of ancient fiend gods and devils in the divine tomb. I wonder if there's any chaotic truth inheritance in the divine tomb. As the successor of ancient chaos, it'll be a pity if I don't learn the chaotic loop art. Speaking of which, this corner of the formation pattern is also very useful to me. If I have this corner of the formation pattern, I'll naturally have one more life-saving technique. Just as Ning Fan was thinking about it, the yin-yang locket suddenly emitted a faint light as if it had gained sentience. The corner of the immortal emperor's formation pattern that was tightly sealed suddenly flashed and vanished without a trace. That formation pattern appeared in the profound Yin world, 15 billion, 16 billion, 17 billion. A few mysterious life immortal realm experts were bidding desperately. All of a sudden, all of them were dumbfounded and stopped bidding. Master Yun was trying to raise the price a little more. According to his estimation, this corner of the formation could be sold for at least 20 billion. Unexpectedly, when the price was raised to 17 billion, there was no one else bidding anymore. Moreover, everyone's eyes looked as if they had seen something that they couldn't understand. Master Yun followed the gaze of the crowd, turned around and looked at the empty jade box that was sealed by layers of formation light behind him. In an instant, he was also dumbfounded. Who is it? Who stole that corner of the formation? Who is it? Master Yun was shocked and angry, but more than that, he was shocked. The person who could take away a corner of the formation pattern in front of everyone must have a cultivation base that far surpassed all the life immortal realm experts present. It couldn't be a true immortal of the true crossing realm or the void abandoning realm. Even a true immortal of the thought fragmentation realm wouldn't be able to do this. Master Yun, who was standing beside the formation, didn't even notice that the formation pattern had disappeared without a trace. Immortal Venerable. It's at least an Immortal Venerable. There must be a senior Immortal Venerable who is interested in this formation pattern, so. No one knew which void fragmentation old monster said, but the whole place fell into dead silence. Terrifying. Truly terrifying. First, there was a true immortal who was hiding in the Shaozi star to cultivate the technique of luck. Then, there was another immortal venerable who was hiding in the auction house and quietly took away a corner of the formation pattern of the immortal emperor. Immortal venerable, an existence of that level could cover the entire Shaozi star with a single finger. Who would dare to say anything about what he was going to take away from this place? Master Yun complained incessantly. This formation pattern was actually left here by a ghost profound realm life immortal for the auction. Now that the mysterious immortal venerable had taken away the formation pattern, he naturally didn't dare to pursue the responsibility of an immortal venerable. However, since the formation pattern was lost, he had to compensate that ghost profound realm life immortal crystals. At the very least, he had to compensate that person with 10 billion Dao crystals. Sigh, how terrifying. An immortal venerable actually took away the formation pattern of a great sovereign. Ouyang Nuan revealed a nervous expression. She could not help but tighten her arms that were holding the little furball. That's right. How terrifying, Ning Fan smiled bitterly. If the life immortals here knew that he was the one who took away the formation pattern, the consequences would be truly terrifying. He wondered if a group of life immortals would gang up on him and beat him to death. Happy Double Seventh Festival. Chapter 708. Ning Fan didn't expect that a corner of the ancient Chaos Great Emperor's formation runes would be stolen by the Yin-Yang locket. However, there was no reason for him to reject a formation mark that he had picked up for free. Besides, it was impossible for Ning Fan to return the formation mark with both hands. This was the ancient Chaos Great Emperor's formation runes, and he was the successor of the ancient Chaos Great Emperor. The auction has ended. Master Yun let out a long sigh and announced weakly. The old monsters left in a hurry, afraid that the celestial sovereign was still hiding here and something unexpected would happen. It was better to leave as soon as possible. Celestial sovereigns were also known as 10,000 ancient celestial sovereigns. They were people who had transcended the ages and were above countless true immortals. No true immortal could defeat an immortal venerable, let alone a life immortal. The difference between a life immortal and an immortal venerable was like the difference between a vein opening and a void fragmentation. Ning Fan and Ouyang Nuan also stood up at the same time, preparing to leave. Ning Fan was not afraid of that non-existent immortal venerate 10,000 ancient. Now that the auction had ended, it was time for him to deal with another matter. Do you know which area of the Shaozi Star region Senior Wei Qi is currently at? Ning Fan asked Ouyang Nuan through telepathy. It's probably in this area. Ouyang Nuan took out Wei Qi's life token and made some deductions. Then, she took out the astrolabe of the Shaozi galaxy and made some deductions on it. The location was roughly in the northern region of Shaozi Star region. The Shaozi North region is a vast sea of stars. How are we going to find a person? Damn it, why did someone capture Uncle Wei? Perhaps, that person came for you. Ning Fan said thoughtfully. What do you mean? Ouyang Nuan was confused. It's nothing, I just have some guesses. Don't worry, I'm proficient in a secret technique, and I'm best at finding people in a wide area. The Shaozi North region is indeed vast. With my cultivation level, I'll be able to find Senior Wei Qi's whereabouts after casting the mystic skill more than 10 times. The secret technique that Ning Fan mentioned was naturally the Rain Ancestors' Heavenly Peering Rain technique. As Ning Fan's spirit sense and magic power improved, the search range of his Peering Heaven Rain technique also increased continuously. The two of them left the Shaozi planet, and Ouyang Nuan kept the little furball into the spirit beast bag. After all, its cultivation was too low, and it could not withstand the power of the void. Ning Fan rode the ancient sword and held the star compass in his hand, carrying Ouyang Nuan all the way to the northern region. Every day he traveled, he would display the heavenly peering rain technique. The rain spell could cover half of a low-level planet region with its immortal will. Every time he used the rain spell, rain would fall from the void between several low-ranked cultivation planets. Such a powerful technique. Ouyang Nuan's beautiful eyes were filled with splendor. Even a life immortal wouldn't be able to spread their spirit sense this far. Only a true immortal of the crossing truth realm could extend his divine sense to half the distance of a low-grade starfield. This technique consumed a lot of Ning Fan's magical power. Every time he used the rain technique, he would need a lot of time to recover his magical power. On the third day, Ning Fan and Young One settled down on an abandoned planet to rest. Just as he recovered a little of his magic power, several sharp killing intents rushed towards this abandoned planet. They were 3 rogue immortals. Judging from their appearances, Ning Fan remembered that they were the 3 devil lords with a bounty of 6 million, 9 million and 9.5 million respectively. Ning Fan did not act immediately. He wanted to know if these people were coming for him or Yang Wan. Yang Wan was slightly nervous. Although she was an expert in alchemy, due to her body condition, she was not good at fighting. Her cultivation was also weak. Don't be afraid. Ning Fan smiled faintly. That smile had a strange power that made Yang Wan feel relieved. I'm not afraid. The 3 rogue immortals looked at Ning Fan and exclaimed in surprise. Old ancestor Qian Qiu. This doesn't match the information we have. Yang Wan isn't alone. Retreat. With just this sentence, Ning Fan was already convinced that the 3 of them were coming for Yang Wan. Moreover, they had a plan in mind. Ning Fan's appearance had disrupted their plan. As expected, Ning Fan seemed to have confirmed something. If that's the case, I should be able to obtain a lot of information after killing the 3 of them and searching their souls and memories. He took a step forward and turned into black robes. After extracting and devouring their souls, Ning Fan's body suddenly turned into black shadows that spread out and swept towards the 3 rogue immortals. Black Tempest Soul-Splitting Technique. At the moment the technique was displayed, the expressions of the 3 rogue immortals changed drastically. Realizing that they had nowhere to run, their eyes flashed with extreme ruthlessness. Each of them exploded their primordial spirit without any hesitation. Rumble. 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 The power of the self-detonation of 3 rogue immortals was so powerful that even an ordinary life immortal realm expert would have to fend it off in a flurry. The aftermath of the self-detonation went straight for Yang Wan. They actually wanted to kill her even if they had to risk their lives. Be careful. Ning Fan's expression changed. The black shadows scattered and condensed, appearing in front of Yang Wan in the blink of an eye. However, he could not get close to her in time. At this distance, he could not keep Yang Wan inside the Yuanya world to avoid the magic technique. This distance could not help Yang Wan avoid the aftermath of the self-detonation of the 3 rogue immortals. Ning Fan's eyes flashed with determination. Black starlight flashed around his body. He opened his mouth and swallowed the self-detonation of the 3 rogue immortals into his stomach. Bang! 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 The sound of the explosion came from Ning Fan's stomach. He felt a sharp pain in his chest and took a step back. He actually destroyed the cultivation planet that was on the verge of collapsing. His injuries were not light. Ning Fan. All of a sudden, Yang Wan's face turned pale. She held on to Ning Fan who was falling from the void. When she touched Ning Fan's ice-cold hand, her heart turned cold. Yang Wan's 5-colored medicine soul entered Ning Fan's body. When she sensed the severe injuries in his body, she felt extremely guilty. If it wasn't because he wanted to save her, Ning Fan had a way to withstand the self-detonation of the 3 rogue immortals without swallowing the self-detonation wave. How could his injuries be light after swallowing the self-detonation wave into his body? I'm fine. It's just that my magic power has yet to recover in the first place. That's why I look a little weak. Ning Fan gritted his teeth slightly and summoned the ancient golden sword, making it hover in the void. The 2 of them landed on the ancient sword. They finally had a place to stand. Ning Fan sat cross-legged on the ancient sword. He quickly consumed a pill and used the starlight to heal his injuries. His injuries were indeed a little heavy. However, it was far from the injuries he suffered when he forcefully broke through the realm-breaking light sea. In at most 2 hours, Ning Fan's injuries would be completely healed. This was the power of 8,800 black stars. If he condenses 10,000 black stars, he would not be afraid even when facing an early profound mortal realm life immortal realm expert. He would be unscathed in 100 battles. When Ouyang Nuan saw that Ning Fan's injuries were recovering rapidly, she felt slightly relieved. However, she was still filled with guilt. She did not say thank you because she understood that a shallow word of gratitude could not express anything at all. They want to kill you. Why do you think they want to kill you? And why do they want to capture Wei Qi? 2 hours later, Ning Fan's injuries were fully healed. His magic power had returned to its peak. I don't know. Ouyang Nuan shook her head helplessly. Even though the medicine sect was powerful, it definitely had a lot of enemies. She could not think of anyone who wanted to kill her. However, with her sharp mind, she instantly understood the deeper meaning of Ning Fan's words. Killing with a borrowed knife. Ouyang Nuan suddenly exclaimed. The person who could capture Senior Wei Qi naturally has the ability to kill you. However, he doesn't dare to do so. Your body contains the 9 revolutions death-chasing pill which was concocted by your master. If that person directly kills you, your master will certainly notice it. Therefore, he captured Wei Qi and lured you out of Shaozi Star. Then, he asked unrelated people to kill you. If I'm not mistaken, these assassins don't know who their employer is at all. It's useless even if they search their memories. After you die, Wei Qi will die as well. Then, no one will know who killed you. Ning Fan analyzed carefully. Ouyang Nuan nodded her head. She completely agreed with Ning Fan's analysis. Who is it that wants to kill me? How many true immortals are there in the medicine sect? Ning Fan did not answer her question but asked another question instead. There's only my master. Wait. You mean this person is a member of my medicine sect? Otherwise, who else would be able to lure Wei Qi out of Shaozi Star willingly and capture him? If this person is a member of the medicine sect, everything will make sense. He's an acquaintance. Therefore, he only needs to send a voice transmission flying sword to lure Wei Qi out. If he's an acquaintance, as long as he has a life immortal realm cultivation base, he can trick Wei Qi and capture him even if his cultivation base is lower than Wei Qi's. Of course, there's also the possibility that this person's cultivation base is extremely high and has reached the Ghost Profound realm. If he's a member of the medicine sect, he's naturally afraid that your master will know his identity. Impossible. All the uncles in the medicine sect are very kind to me. I can sense it. It's hard to predict a person's heart. Your medicine soul is special but it's not omnipotent. Your medicine soul can sense the evil in people's hearts. It doesn't mean that he doesn't have the ability to hide his true self. Forget it. This is just my speculation. Perhaps he's not a member of the medicine sect at all. You don't have to take it seriously. I've rested enough. Let's continue our search for Senior Wei Qi. However, from now on, you must be extremely careful. If anything happens, I will immediately keep you in my small Kiliacosm Cosmos treasure. You must be mentally prepared. I got it. Ouyang Nuan was feeling a little down. She naturally understood the principle that it was hard to predict a person's heart. However, she had never doubted her uncles. She had always treated the seniors of the medicine sect as her uncles. If she was really betrayed by her uncles, it would be no different from being betrayed by her family. The heartache could not be soothed by saying that it was hard to predict a person's heart. The 4th day, the 5th day, the 6th day, almost every day, Ning Fan and Ouyang Nuan would be chased by a group of assassins. This time, Ning Fan had learned his lesson. Every time he encountered an enemy, he would immediately keep Ouyang Nuan in the Yuanya world. Then, he would carry out a one-sided slaughter on those assassins. These assassins were basically devils with bounties. After Ning Fan killed them all along the way, he had collected the heads of 17 devils with bounties. The total bounty had reached 140 million Dao crystals. All of the remaining assassins died by self-detonation. Ning Fan also searched the memories of some of them. As expected, there was no useful information. 15 days later, Ning Fan used the heaven-peering rain technique again. Rain fell on Tiantai's star. His eyes suddenly turned cold. He had found Wei Qi's whereabouts on Tiantai's star. Even though he had found him, he could not go there immediately. He needed to recover his magic power first. As expected, there were no true immortals among the enemies. It was good news. However, there were 2 early human Profound Realm life immortals. It would not be easy to save them. Ning Fan told Youngwon the appearance of the 2 life immortals. After seeing them, Youngwon heaved a sigh of relief. Fortunately, these 2 people were not from the medicine sect. On the contrary, they were from the pills sect. Hee. Harry Ball's father, you guessed it wrong. The enemies are from the pills sect. Youngwon's mood turned from gloomy to sunny. Is that so? It couldn't be better. Ning Fan turned his hand and took out a small golden sword. It was a sword light that was condensed from 1200 traces of sword ancestors' sword chi given to him by Emperor Xia. It could severely injure a life immortal with a single strike. Together with the attack from the steel of sun and moon, Ning Fan was confident that he could severely injure the 2 life immortals. However, it would only severely injure them. If he wants to kill them, it would be as difficult as ascending to the heavens. With his current abilities, it would be very difficult for him to break through an immortal-grade defensive technique. If the steel of sun and moon and the small golden sword were to attack a life immortal at the same time, there was a high chance that he could kill one of them. However, the other person was definitely not someone Ning Fan could hurt. Of course, he still had a corner of the Great Sovereign Realm formation mark in his hand. However, this formation mark could kill all immortals below the true immortal realm. It could only be used once. If he uses it to kill 2 early human Profound Realm life immortals, it would be too wasteful. Tiantai Star, Cloud Cliff Sect. Inside the Cloud Cliff Sect, there was dead silence. The entire sect had been massacred. On Tiantai Star, countless cultivation countries, sects and Xiu clan members were massacred. Their corpses were everywhere. On the peak of Cloud Cliff Mountain, an old man in black robes who was covered in wounds was imprisoned in a stone chamber. That old man was none other than Wei Qi. Currently, he had been planted with layers of restrictive spells. He could neither speak nor use any of his magic power. He could only use his eyes to express his anger. In front of him stood 2 pill sect life immortals. Both of them were wearing green pill robes. One of them was tall while the other was fat. The 2 of them were fiddling with the storage pouch in their hands. One of them nodded his head in satisfaction while the other one's eyes were filled with dissatisfaction. I didn't expect that after massacring an entire low-grade cultivation planet, we would only get this little thing. There really isn't any profit to be gained from a low-grade cultivation planet. The taller life immortal said indignantly. However, after massacring an entire cultivation planet, my soul banner has collected quite a number of high-quality living souls. Its power has increased by quite a lot. The fat life immortal chuckled. His face was full of fats. While the 2 of them were talking, their eyes suddenly turned cold and they exchanged glances. The taller life immortal continued to watch over Wei Qi while the fat life immortal flashed. His body turned into a ray of black light and disappeared into the ground beneath his feet. Outside the Cloud Cliff Mountain, a young man in black robes appeared. The 2 pill sect life immortals had naturally heard about this young man in black robes. He was none other than Ning Fan, who had killed countless of their assassins. It was said that Ning Fan was traveling with the eldest miss of the Ouyang family. Since he was here, Ouyang Nuan was most likely nearby as well. Looking at Ning Fan's fearless expression, perhaps he already knew that there were 2 life immortals guarding this place. Is he trying to lure us away from our territory? Are there any other reinforcements who are trying to save Wei Qi? With that thought in mind, the 2 life immortal realm experts would certainly not attack a void fragmentation realm kid at the same time. One of them would kill Ning Fan while the other would stay behind to prevent the enemy from luring them away from their territory. Ning Fan's eyes were cold as he stared at the Cloud Cliff Mountain. Before he showed himself, he had already unleashed his full combat power. Thus, he naturally did not dare to be careless in the face of a Life Immortal Realm expert. When he sensed that a Life Immortal Realm expert was missing from the stone chamber on the peak of the Cloud Cliff Mountain, Ning Fan's heart was filled with alarm. With his current cultivation base, it would be very difficult for him to detect a sneak attack from a Life Immortal Realm expert. Fortunately, after cultivating the Great Five Elements physique, Ning Fan's perception towards the power of the five elements had become especially sharp. All of a sudden, Ning Fan leaped into the sky and looked down at the ground. The fat Life Immortal Realm expert suddenly emerged from the ground. He raised his hand and clawed at the place where Ning Fan was standing just now. Fortunately, Ning Fan reacted in time and managed to avoid the attack. As soon as the attack missed its target, a large piece of land was immediately torn apart. The entire cultivation planet was shaking violently. This was the power of a Life Immortal Realm expert's casual attack. The word immortal was far beyond the reach of a first-step cultivator. A Life Immortal Realm expert isn't someone I can defeat. Ning Fan frowned. Even though he knew that he was not as strong as the fat Life Immortal Realm expert, he would never back down. He was indebted to Ouyang Nguyen. He would certainly help her. Young man, you're really fast at escaping. It seems like you're going to be a decent living soul, the fat Life Immortal Realm expert licked his lips and continued. If you hand Ouyang Nguyen over willingly, I will spare your spiritual consciousness and let you be a happy living soul. However, if you remain stubborn, the fat Life Immortal Realm expert suddenly took out a devil flag which was filled with devil chi. It was a low-grade immortal treasure. As soon as the flag rose into the sky, billions of living souls flew out from it. For a moment, the sky turned dark and the earth turned dark. Yin Qi covered the sky and ghosts wailed and gods howled. As soon as the billions of living souls appeared, they immediately fused with one another. In an instant, they turned into 72 giant ghosts. Each of them had the cultivation base of a rogue immortal. If you remain stubborn, I will certainly make you beg for death. The fat Life Immortal Realm expert sneered. Is that so? Ning Fan took a deep breath and abruptly raised his palm towards the sky. Immediately, a 60,000 zhang large fire monument appeared in his hand. He raised his hand and made a series of hand seals. The fire monument immediately rose into the sky and turned into a gigantic mountain made of yin flames. The mountain was only 60,000 zhang tall. However, its weight was as heavy as half a low-grade cultivation planet. As for Ning Fan, 90% of his magic power had been consumed in just a few seconds. Dual Spirit Monument Technique, Yin Flames Mountain. Fall. As soon as he said that, the gigantic mountain made of yin flames immediately smashed down at a terrifying speed. The Devil Flag Immortal Treasure was directly smashed into pieces by the gigantic mountain made of yin flames. The 72 rogue Immortal Realm experts were instantly smashed into meat paste by the gigantic mountain made of yin flames. The originally arrogant fat Life Immortal Realm expert no longer had the slightest bit of arrogance on his face. As soon as he saw the gigantic mountain made of yin flames crashing down, his soul almost left his body. Without saying a word, he fled into the ground. He could not imagine that an ant who was just at the 7th break realm could actually display such a terrifying ability. He desperately fled into the cultivation planet of Tiantai Planet, hoping to avoid the attack of the gigantic mountain. Unfortunately, he had overestimated the power of the gigantic mountain. The force of the gigantic mountain heavily smashed onto the cultivation planet. The entire planet immediately trembled and the mountains shook. Then, with a loud rumbling sound, the planet was split into two halves. A low-grade cultivation planet was crushed by Ning Fan's ability just like that. Fortunately, even though the planet was split apart, it was still temporarily pieced together and did not split into two halves. The fat Life Immortal Realm expert who was hiding underground was directly thrown out of the ground by the tremendous force. As soon as he came out of the ground, he immediately fell to the ground and coughed out blood. His body was almost flattened into a meat paste. However, he was still alive. However, His injuries were extremely severe. Without 1,000 years of recuperation, he would definitely not be able to recover. At this moment, he was extremely weak and his strength had been reduced by 70%. However, he was so angry that he laughed. "Little Qianqiu, how dare you hurt me? If I don't kill you, I swear that I'm not a man." Ning Fan, who was also extremely weak, looked at the fat life immortal realm expert expressionlessly. However, his hand quietly reached into his sleeve. There was a small golden sword there. No more updates. Happy Double Seventh Festival, everyone. Chapter 709. Qianqiu. I have to admit that your divine ability is very powerful. However, it is a pity that with your cultivation, using that kind of attack once will almost exhaust all of your magic power. Perhaps you are invincible below the life immortal realm, but if you want to surpass the immortal realm and challenge a life immortal, you have no chance of winning. Life-burning pill. Even though the fat life immortal was severely injured, his aura force was still far stronger than Ning Fan's. He took out a fiery red pill and swallowed it. Then, he walked towards Ning Fan step by step. With every step he took, his flesh and blood would burn on their own, disappearing at an astonishing speed while his injuries healed at a rapid pace. After taking 10 steps, the fat life immortal was only 10,000 zhang away from Ning Fan. He had already become as thin as a stick. His injuries were mostly healed within 10 steps. Ning Fan's eyes darkened slightly. This person was a pill ancestor expert, so he was naturally a pill cultivator. As an alchemist, he naturally had quite a few medicinal pills on him. Using medicinal pills to aid in battle and heal, he was truly a troublesome opponent. They couldn't give him any more time to heal. The fat life immortal realm expert suddenly raised his head and stared at Ning Fan coldly. With a sneer, he took out another ice blue pill and was about to consume it. It was a secret pill that could greatly increase one's strength in a short period of time. Ning Fan, of course, would not give the fat immortal life immortal any more time to consume the pills. He raised his hand and pointed a finger at him. 4 illusory vortexes appeared around the fat immortal life immortal. Between the 2 whirlpools, beams of light shot out and pierced through the life immortal's body. The light beams crossed each other. For a moment, the fat life immortal couldn't move and couldn't put the pill into his mouth. This was one of the ways to cast the whirlpool spell, whirlpool intersecting. This technique was unable to harm a cultivator, but it could borrow the power of the heavenly grottos to lock the space around the cultivator, making it impossible for him to move. The moment he locked the fat life immortal's hand, he tapped the ground with the tip of his toes and put his left hand into his sleeve. His eyes were cold as he stared at the fat life immortal. The fat life immortal squinted his eyes as he was frozen by the light pillar. When he saw Ning Fan dashing towards him, he sneered. Not a bad technique. It's a pity that you haven't cultivated this technique to its peak. Otherwise, even if you haven't entered the life immortal realm, you can easily stop me with this technique. But now, don't even think about stopping me. Break. The fat life immortal's energy shook, and the 4 illusory whirlpools immediately shattered. Looking at Ning Fan who was coming towards him, the fat life immortal realm immortal flicked the icy blue pill in his hand and changed his hand seals. This ice blue pill could be consumed, but it could also be used as a hidden weapon. Streams of ice flames flowed out from the pill. In an instant, the pill turned into the shadow of a dark blue ice flame giant. It raised its hand and threw a punch at Ning Fan. Boom! This punch came too quickly. Ning Fan hurriedly turned his body into a black shadow, but he was still severely injured by this attack. His entire body was in excruciating pain as if it was being torn apart. When the black shadow condensed again, Ning Fan had already passed the ice flame giant and appeared 100 zhang away from the obese life immortal. His face was pale, and blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. His injuries were severe, but the ruthlessness in his eyes did not diminish. There wasn't a single part of his body that didn't hurt, but it only made his fighting spirit soar to the skies. With a flip of his hand, a small golden sword appeared in his left palm. He raised his hand and threw it at the Fat Life Immortal's Dantian. On the other side, the Fat Life Immortal Realm Immortal snorted coldly after severely injuring Ning Fan with a single blow. He was quite disdainful of Ning Fan's arrogance. In his opinion, Ning Fan would at most be killed after receiving 7 to 8 more punches from the Ice Flame Giant. He admitted that Ning Fan was definitely an unrivaled expert at the first step of Dao cultivation. Unfortunately, even so, he did not believe that Ning Fan could defeat him. How can an ant at the first step of Dao cultivation defeat an immortal at the second step? The Fat Life Immortal Realm Immortal sneered. Just as he was about to perform a hand seal to command the Ice Flame Giant to attack Ning Fan again, all of a sudden, the Fat Life Immortal Realm Immortal raised his hand and took out a small golden sword when he saw Ning Fan approaching him. The moment he saw the small golden sword, his body began to tremble uncontrollably. His expression changed drastically. From this small golden sword, he felt a sense of crisis of certain death. This time, the power of the small golden sword's attack was even slightly stronger than the previous Een Flame Mountain. With the current weakened body of the Fat Life Immortal Realm Immortal, he certainly could not withstand such an attack. Impossible. You're just a 7th step Broken Realm cultivator. Why do you have so many powerful trump cards? I don't believe it. The Fat Life Immortal Realm Immortal's expression was ferocious and crazy. He patted his storage pouch and took out a handful of colorful pills. Then, he swallowed all of them. At the same time, the small golden sword flashed and turned into 1,200 rays of sword light with terrifying power. They formed a storm of blades that engulfed him. The rays of sword light easily cut his immortal body. Streaks of sword chi easily surged into his body and destroyed his immortal meridians and essence spirit without restraint. The powerful power of the pills was forcefully repairing the broken body of the Fat Life Immortal Realm Immortal. Both of his eyes were bloodshot. He attacked crazily, crushing the rays of sword light with every raise of his hand. His injuries were getting worse and his chi was getting weaker and weaker. However, the more he fought, the more courageous he became. The sword chi was decreasing continuously. His life force was also decreasing at a faster speed. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. Feeling the chi in his body getting weaker and weaker, the Fat Life Immortal Realm Immortal gritted his teeth in anger. Damn it. I've underestimated Ning Fan too much. A mere 7th step Broken Realm Immortal was actually this strong. His strength was not much weaker than mine. However, an ant will always be an ant. It's not that easy to kill me. Immortal Shattering Technique. Without any hesitation, the Fat Life Immortal Realm Immortal began to form hand seals with all 10 of his fingers, displaying a forbidden technique. This technique was widely known in the Four Heavens immortal world. It was a technique that countless immortals would only display when they were risking their lives. The Immortal Shattering Technique could suppress all injuries within a short period of time, allowing the user to unleash their full strength at the cost of falling from the immortal realm forever. It was a life-saving technique that many immortals who were in a desperate situation would use. The hand seals of the Immortal Shattering Technique were very complicated. However, with the Fat Life Immortal Realm Immortal's speed, he had already formed hundreds of hand seals in just a few moments. He had completed half of the hand seals. I can't let him finish forming the hand seals. Ning Fan's body was surrounded by starlight. He dashed into the storm of blades and his body was immediately penetrated by countless rays of sword light. Even though the injuries in his body were getting worse, Ning Fan did not hesitate at all. He raised his palm and his memory power condensed into a small black golden sword. The small sword grew in the wind and immediately turned into a 3 chi long black golden sword. The sword slashed down mercilessly, cutting off one of the Fat Life Immortal Realm Immortal's arm and forcefully interrupting his hand seals. Ah! The Fat Life Immortal Realm Immortal shrieked in pain and stared at Ning Fan in disbelief. He did not expect that Ning Fan would rush into the storm of blades without hesitation in order to stop him from using the Immortal Shattering Technique. Ning Fan suffered the attacks of the sword light together with him. Ning Fan was unafraid of death. Moreover, he did not expect that Ning Fan had actually cultivated a type of Dao weapon. Even though that Dao weapon had never been refined before, it was too sharp. With just a single strike, it cut off his arm. Ning Fan was a lunatic. A lunatic who was not afraid of death. A lunatic who possessed a great Dao weapon. The Fat Life Immortal Realm Immortal hated himself for underestimating Ning Fan. If he had consumed all of his trump cards right from the start, he would certainly be able to kill Ning Fan before Ning Fan could use his trump cards. Unfortunately, there was no medicine for regret in this world. Which Life Immortal Realm Immortal would use all of his trump cards against an ant-like junior? Who would have thought that Ning Fan's combat power would be so high even though his cultivation base was low? At this moment, the Fat Life Immortal Realm Immortal was trapped in the storm of sword light. If he does not use the Immortal Shattering technique to suppress his injuries and increase his strength to forcefully break through the sword light, he would certainly die under the endless sword chi of the sword ancestor. Fight with your life. He wanted to fight Ning Fan to the death, but Ning Fan was also fighting him to the death. Now that he had lost an arm, he no longer had the chance to fight for his life. The next moment, the Fat Life Fairy's face twisted. He almost wanted to laugh out loud. If the Immortal Shattering art was blocked, he would definitely die in this storm of swords. He couldn't escape, he had nowhere to run, he would die without a doubt. Since he was going to die anyway, he must drag Ning Fan down with him before he dies. Explode. The Fat Life Immortal smirked. He wanted to detonate his primordial spirit and perish together with Ning Fan under the sky-covering sword light. Not in vain, not in vain. Since Ning Fan was able to cultivate a Dao soldier when he was at the Void Fragmentation Realm, his innate potential was definitely enough to shock the world. Being able to drag Ning Fan down with me before I die is really worth it. Let's die together. Boom. An unimaginable explosion spread across the entire planet. The entire planet was under the attack of the Fat Life Celestial's self-destruction storm. Mountains and rivers were destroyed as easily as crushing dry weeds and smashing rotten wood. Spirit chi was crazily flowing away, and one cultivation country after another was razed to the ground. This was the power of a Life Immortal's self-destruction. After this battle, Tiantai planet would completely become a wasteland. No cultivators could stay and cultivate on this planet anymore. What? Old Man Gu was actually forced to such a state by that junior that he actually self-destructed? That junior is actually so powerful. The tall Life Immortal used all of his magic power to create a magic barrier to protect the entire Cloud Cliff Mountain. With his cultivation base, it was difficult for him to self-destruct under the explosion of a Life Immortal of the same level as him. However, he had no choice but to use some of his magic power to protect the Cloud Cliff Mountain. It was because Wei Qi was still imprisoned in the mountain. Before Ouyang Nuan died, Wei Qi must not die yet. As such, the tall Life Immortal was inevitably injured by the aftermath of the explosion. Even though it was just a light injury, it was still terrifying. After all, he had lived for hundreds of thousands of years. It was his first time seeing a Life Immortal expert being forced into a corner by a first-step cultivator and having no choice but to self-destruct. Fortunately, it was the Fat Life Immortal who attacked Ning Fan just now and not him. If he was the one who attacked Ning Fan, he would probably end up like the Fat Life Immortal, being forced to perish together with Ning Fan. Little Qianqiu, what a powerful junior. However, this junior must have died after being hit by the destructive force of Old Man Gu's self-destruction. After all, he was at the center of the explosion of a Life Immortal. Even if he hides in the small kiliocosm, he might not be able to avoid the damage. That Old Man Gu was able to drag a peerless genius down with him before he dies. The tall Life Immortal shook his head and sighed. After experiencing the baptism of the Fat Life Immortal's self-destruction, the entire Tiantai planet had become a real wasteland. Other than the Cloud Cliff Mountain, there was no other mountain left on the entire cultivation planet. Perhaps it was time to change the place where Wei Qi was imprisoned. Before Old Man Gu died, he still needed to report to that person. Wei Qi was also injured by the aftermath of the explosion. He was chained tightly to the stone wall and his body was covered with countless layers of seals, preventing him from using his magic power. However, he was not completely unaware of the situation in the outside world. He had sensed that Ning Fan had come to Tiantai planet. He could guess that the reason Ning Fan came here was most likely to save him. As for the person who could invite Ning Fan, it was probably his mistress. Sigh. That little friend Xian Qiu came to save me, but he lost his life for me. I owe him a favor, but I will never be able to repay him. I wonder where my mistress is now. I hope she didn't follow you to Tiantai planet. The most dangerous people on Tiantai planet are not the people of the Pills sect but the scum of my medicine sect. When he thought of how he was captured, Wei Qi's heart was filled with rage. He really wanted to curse that traitor, but he could not make any sound because of the seals on his body. When he recalled the tragic battle where Ning Fan perished together with the life immortal, Wei Qi was filled with sorrow. Just as he was feeling sad, he suddenly saw the tall life immortal walking towards him. He took out a key and unlocked the shackles on his body. Wei Qi. You have eaten the immortal sealing pill of my pill sect. Don't even think about using any of your magic power. You have been struck by my pill sect's dark word technique. Don't even think about speaking. Now, I am going to unlock your shackles and bring you to another cultivation planet to continue to imprison you. Let me give you a piece of advice. Don't try to play any tricks and don't try to escape. Otherwise, I don't mind killing you halfway. Wei Qi snorted coldly and glared at the tall life immortal. His eyes were filled with anger, but he did not resist. Now that he was on the chopping block, he would not make things difficult for the tall life immortal at this moment, even though he was furious. The heavy shackles were unlocked one by one. Just as the tall life immortal was about to lock Wei Qi into his heavenly abode and bring him away, a sharp sword light suddenly came from behind. He saw a young man in black robes who was covered in blood holding a black golden longsword with a pair of cold eyes. His body turned into a sword light and dashed towards the stone chamber. Little friend Xian Qiu is actually still alive. Good. Good. This is great. Wei Qi was both surprised and delighted. How is this possible? This man is just at the 7th fragmentation realm. It's impossible for him to survive from Old Man Gu's self-detonation storm. How did he survive? While the tall life immortal was still in shock, the black golden longsword had already pierced through his face. Half an inch more and it would have pierced through his skull. He already knew that Ning Fan's sword was an indestructible weapon of the Great Tao from the previous battle. Thus, he naturally did not dare to face this sword head-on with his physical body. However, with his cultivation base, it was impossible for him to be pierced by Ning Fan's sword, which did not have any special abilities even if he was slightly distracted. With a sway of his body, the tall life immortal turned into a ray of green traveling light and flew 10,000 zhang away from the stone chamber on Cloud Cliff Mountain. His face was still filled with disbelief. He could not figure out how Ning Fan survived the self-detonation of a life immortal. Of course, he did not know that Ning Fan had already entered the profound Yin world the moment the fat life immortal decided to self-detonate. Even though he was lucky enough to avoid the extremely terrifying self-detonation of a life immortal, he was still injured by the sword ancestor's sword chi. As expected, a life immortal was not someone he could defeat. He had used up all of his trump cards and only managed to kill the fat life immortal by luck. The difficulty he had to go through was not worth mentioning to others. In addition to his previous injuries, Ning Fan was currently extremely weak. It was difficult for him to even stand. However, he still left the profound Yin world unexpectedly and showed himself just to save Wei Qi. If the taller life immortal took Wei Qi away and locked him up in another place, more life immortals might be summoned to guard him. At that time, it would be impossible to rescue Wei Qi. He had promised Ouyang Yuan that he would save 7th Wei, so he would definitely do it. Stroking Yuan Yaoyu, a ray of light flashed, and Ouyang Yuan walked out of the light. Seeing Ning Fan's heavily injured appearance and seeing Wei Qi falling to the ground while being protected by Ning Fan, his heart felt like it was being sliced by a knife. The perception of the five-colored medicine's soul was very powerful. Even though she was in the Yuanya world, she could clearly see the entire battle in the outside world. When she saw Ning Fan forcing the Fat Life Immortal Realm Cultivator to retreat with his 7th Break Realm Cultivation base, she almost wanted to applaud for him. When she saw the Fat Life Immortal explode, Ouyang Yuan almost fainted. She thought that Ning Fan would die under the self-detonation of a Life Immortal Realm expert. If Ning Fan dies because of her, she would never be able to forgive herself for the rest of her life. At that moment, she regretted asking for Ning Fan's help and getting him involved in this matter. Fortunately, she sensed that Ning Fan had escaped into a medium Kiliacosm treasure and avoided the self-detonation of a Life Immortal Realm expert. That made her feel slightly relieved. At the same time, she was surprised that Ning Fan actually had a medium Kiliacosm treasure. Now that she was released from the Yuanya world by Ning Fan, Ouyang Yuan looked at Ning Fan's back that was covered in blood. Her heart was filled with guilt and gratitude. She did not ask why Ning Fan had a medium Kiliacosm treasure. She was not prepared to ask or tell anyone about Ning Fan's secret. She wanted to keep this secret for Ning Fan. Is there any way to help Senior Wei Qi recover his combat power? Ning Fan's voice was very soft and weak. Yes. 7th uncle was hit by the pill Sect's Dark Word Technique and Immortal Bestowment Pill. I can neutralize both of them instantly. In just the time it takes for half an incense stick to burn, 7th uncle can recover 30% of his combat power. That's enough to deal with another Life Immortal Realm expert. While answering Ning Fan's question, Ouyang Yuan took out 2 pills and fed them to Wei Qi. Wei Qi, on the other hand, stared at Ning Fan's back deeply and said with clenched teeth. 10 breaths. Little friend, buy me 10 breaths of time. Even if I have to harm myself, I will still forcefully recover 10% of my magic power within 10 breaths and eliminate that vile spawn of the pill sect. There was still a Life Immortal Realm expert in this place. It was impossible for Wei Qi to have the time it takes for half an incense stick to burn to recover his strength. 10 breaths, is it? Ning Fan did not say much. With a flash, he appeared outside the stone chamber and stared coldly at the tall Life Immortal Realm expert who was approaching him. The tall Life Immortal Realm expert had already seen Ning Fan release Ouyang Yuan and treat Wei Qi's injuries. He would not give Wei Qi the chance to recover his magic power. After all, Wei Qi was at the mid-human profound realm which was higher than him. Moreover, he had a Dao weapon and his combat power was extremely high. Even if he could only recover 10% of his magic power, it would still be enough to kill him. He had to kill Wei Qi before he could recover his magic power. Since Ouyang Yuan had already shown herself, Wei Qi would be useless to her. Junior, do you think you can withstand a single blow from me with your current state? Quick! The tall Life Immortal Realm expert looked at Ning Fan disdainfully. He raised his hand and shot out a ray of treasure light, aiming at Ning Fan's neck. It was a silver ring magic treasure with a hook on it. Once it is used, it could easily cut off the head of a first-step cultivator. The tall Life Immortal Realm expert found it hard to believe that Ning Fan could survive the self-destruction of a Life Immortal Realm expert. The number of techniques this 7-breaking realm junior had made him feel ashamed of his inferiority. Even so, the tall Life Immortal Realm expert did not think that Ning Fan could survive the attack of the Silver Ring Immortal Treasure. After all, it was difficult for Ning Fan to even stand at the moment. He might not even be able to defeat a cultivator at the 6th or 5th breaking realm. Ning Fan held the black gold Dao sword tightly and sighed softly. Now that he was in a desperate situation, he really had no choice but to use that technique. The consequences of this technique were too great. However, it seemed like he had no other choice now. Ning Fan was hesitating. All of a sudden, he saw the silver ring in front of him split into 3. One of the rings went straight for him which he could not avoid. The other 2 rings went around him and attacked Wei Qi and Ouyang Yuan who were behind him. The tall Life Immortal Realm expert decided to be more cautious. Even though he firmly believed that he had the strength to kill Ning Fan instantly, he still wanted to be absolutely safe. If Ning Fan really had a technique that could forcefully hold on for 10 breaths, it would not be fun anymore. It would be better to kill Ouyang Yuan and Wei Qi first and then slowly torture Ning Fan to death. He must not give Wei Qi the chance to recover his magic power. Ah! The shadow of the ring slashed at Ouyang Yuan. She cried out in pain and felt that her body was about to be cut into two by the ring. Ning Fan's expression suddenly changed. Without any hesitation, he muttered 2 words and his body turned into a ray of blood light, disappearing on the spot. Being disintegration, the devil's sense that was sealed in his heart seemed to have found a crack. Traces of it flowed out from the seal of the Ming wheel and spread throughout Ning Fan's body. Ning Fan merged with the Dao sword in his hand. His body was surrounded by blood light and he turned into a blood devil. However, a ray of blood light flashed and the 3 ring shadows were all cut into pieces. Wei Qi and Ouyang Yuan did not die. At the next moment, outside the Cloud Cliff Mountain, blood light soared to the sky. A blood devil whose entire body was burning with blood qi appeared in front of the Tall Life Immortal Realm Cultivator. He raised his head and stared at the Tall Life Immortal Realm Cultivator with ferocious eyes. With a claw of his hand, an extremely terrifying blood-red sword light gushed out from his palm, as if it was going to cut heaven and earth into pieces. Ning Fan's consciousness gradually blurred. At the moment when he completely lost his mind, he saw the terrified expression of the Tall Life Immortal Realm Cultivator. He seemed to have heard the heart-wrenching cry of a woman. It sounded a little like Ouyang Yuan's voice. After that, he completely lost his consciousness. He could no longer remember what his blood devil body had done. His body was torn apart by the sword light, stitched up by the star technique and corroded by the devil sense. He fell into a deep sleep as if he was about to fall into an eternal slumber within the devil sense. The world of his mind was filled with blood red. It was being corroded by the devil sense. Ning Fan's mind was wandering. He did not know where he should go. After an unknown period of time, he seemed to have heard a voice calling him. Gradually, the blood-red color in his mind began to fade. Gradually, the devil's sense returned to the seal of the Ming wheel. The seal was being repaired bit by bit. Who is it? Who is saving me? Ning Fan really wanted to open his eyes to take a look. However, his eyelids were too heavy and he could not open his eyes. He looked inside his body and found that the devil's sense had been sealed back into his heart. It was really a blessing in misfortune. He could vaguely hear the voices of a few children. Ancestor Qian has instructed us to serve this person well and not to neglect him. The voices at the back gradually became indistinct. Gradually, a trace of hypnotic medicinal power flowed through Ning Fan's body. Ning Fan fell into a deep slumber again. He did not know how long he had slept. When he woke up again, he finally opened his eyes. What came into his sight was a simple and crude Dao house. He was lying on the bed. Beside the bed, a little Dao child was holding a large palm leaf fan. He was fanning the wind and driving away the mosquitoes for Ning Fan. As soon as he saw Ning Fan wake up, the little Dao child exclaimed as if he had seen something unbelievable. He's awake. He's awake. The person that Ancestor Qian picked up has actually woken up. I have never seen anyone who could survive after suffering such severe injuries. Ancestor Qian's pill healing technique is really amazing. After the little Daoist boy shouted, many little Daoist boys immediately rushed into the Daoist house to watch the show. These little Dao children were all vein-opening realm cultivators. None of them were at the harmonious spirit realm. Ning Fan's throat was burning and his head was buzzing. After the commotion, he felt his headache getting worse. Thus, he asked with a slight frown. Where am I? Who saved me? Where is the person who came with me? This is the 100 Medicine sect of the Hidden Sea planet. The person who saved you is Ancestor Qian of my sect. No one came with you. You were picked up by Ancestor Qian. A little Dao child answered all of Ning Fan's questions respectfully. His cultivation base was low and he could not tell how high Ning Fan's cultivation base was. However, he had seen Ning Fan being severely injured and on the verge of death. He had never seen such terrifying injuries in his life. A person who could survive after suffering such injuries must be a senior expert. Naturally, he did not dare to neglect him. The Hidden Sea Planet. 100 Medicine Sect. Ning Fan forced himself to sit up. His eyes were filled with surprise and doubt. Isn't the Hidden Sea Planet a cultivation planet in the ancient star region? Ning Fan had heard about the 100 Medicine Sect from Young-won before. At that time, she even gave him a warm jade hairpin and told him to come to the 100 Medicine Sect to seek help from an old man with the surname Qian when he is in trouble. Is that old man with the surname Qian the ancestor Qian that the little Dao children mentioned? Wasn't he fighting against a life-immortal realm cultivator in the Shaozi star region? Ning Fan remembered that he was forced to use the forbidden technique, weapon disintegration. He could not remember what happened after that. What happened after that? Who sent him to the Hidden Sea Planet? What about Wei Qi? What about Young-won? As soon as he thought about it, Ning Fan immediately felt a pain as if his sea of consciousness was being torn apart. He could not help but suck in a cold breath. All the things he brought with him were still there. No one had touched them. Humph. What a lucky guy. Even after suffering such serious injuries, he could still survive the backlash of the devil sense. He actually managed to wake up after sleeping for 7 years. A wizened old man wearing a linen Daoist robe and a Daoist hat walked into the Daoist house. Upon seeing the wizened old man, all the children knelt on the ground and kowtowed to him. Greetings, Grandmaster Qian. Ning Fan, on the other hand, was shocked. He had actually been unconscious for 7 years. You may dispense with the formalities. You may all withdraw. This old man is going to treat this little friend's injuries. The shriveled old man's face darkened. He waved his hand, and the group of little Taoists immediately left respectfully. Do you want to know why you appeared in the ancient realm? Senior, please tell me. Ning Fan was temporarily unable to get off the bed, so he could only cup his fists and salute the wizened old man. He could not see through this person's exact cultivation level, but he could roughly tell that this person was a perfected immortal. This person's medicine soul power was extremely strong. He was at least an 8th revolution pill refinement master. It seemed like this person was the Qian Kai Yen that Young-won mentioned. Little girl Nwan brought you here. Young-won. Where is she? Dead. Impossible. Ning Fan's eyes turned cold. He did not believe that Young-won would die. You don't believe me? If you don't believe me, take a look at your medicine soul. Is it 5-colored? Humph. The shriveled old man's face darkened. He slammed the door and walked out of the Dao house. Only then did Ning Fan look at his own body. He suddenly realized that his medicine soul had turned into 5 different colors. The form of his medicine soul was no longer a black butterfly. Instead, it was a 5-colored butterfly. Ning Fan vaguely remembered that the color of Young-won's medicine soul seemed to be 5-colored. Why did I obtain the same medicine soul ability as Young-won? What exactly happened to Young-won? Is she really dead like what that old man with the surname Qian said? Impossible. Ning Fan gritted his teeth and forced himself to get off the bed. However, he fell to the ground instead. He did not believe that Young-won would die. However, what was going on with this 5-colored medicine soul? What exactly happened after he lost his mind? Howl. Howl, a snow-white little furball appeared out of nowhere and threw itself into Ning Fan's arms. It stuck out its small tongue and licked Ning Fan's finger, attracting his attention. Isn't this ugly little thing the spirit choice that I gave to Young-won? I remember that its real name is Ning Xia Bixiu and its nickname is Harry Ball. Harry Ball's cultivation base was already at the harmonious spirit realm. With a light leap, it used its demonic power to write a few words on the ground. Nwan Nwan, trapped, forbidden area, crepe myrtle pond. Ning Fan's eyes suddenly lit up. After thinking for a while, he erased the words on the ground. Oh, Yang Nuan isn't dead, right? Howl. Howl. The little furball nodded. She's trapped in the crepe myrtle pond? Is she in danger? Ning Fan asked again. Howl. Howl. The little furball shook its head. Is that so? Ning Fan shook his head speechlessly. That damn true immortal Qian actually lied to him. Oh, Yang Nuan isn't dead. She's not in danger for the time being, fortunately, that's right. Old man Qian seems to have a deep relationship with Yang Nuan. How could he let anything happen to her? Ning Fan felt relieved. Then, his vision turned black and he fainted again. Outside the door, old man Qian walked in angrily. He looked at the words on the ground, then looked at Harry Ball and Ning Fan again. His face darkened again. Little fellow, who asked you to speak the truth? Go and find your mother. Rumble, the true immortal Qian kicked Harry Ball. The force of his kick was very mysterious. It did not hurt Harry Ball at all but sent it flying. It flew around the hidden sea star for more than 10 rounds before landing precisely in a purple pond in the forbidden area of the back mountain of the 100 Medicines sect. The force of this true immortal Qian's kick was really horrifying. As for his turbid eyes, after kicking Furball away, a look of regret gradually appeared in them. That silly girl is really a silly girl. How could she give her origin medicine soul to someone else so casually? Now, how am I going to extend your life? How are you going to face others in this life? How are you going to face others? The number one beauty of the 100 Medicines sect, Yang Nuan. To hell with the number one beauty title. From now on, it's just an ironic title. Old man Qian kicked Ning Fan onto the bed and fed him a pill which was filled with spiritual qi. After letting out a long sigh, he turned around and walked out of the Tao house. Then, he instructed the little Taoists who were waiting outside. I'm going to leave the 100 Medicines sect for a few years. Take good care of that brat. Don't neglect him. Yes. What? Old man Qian is leaving. Where is old man Qian going? All of a sudden, all the little Taoists panicked. I'm not in a good mood. I'm going to leave this planet for a few years to kill a few evil creatures. I don't have time to stay here and play. No. This is the ancient star field, a place where bandits run rampant. Without old man Qian, our 100 Medicines sect will certainly be annihilated by a large wave of bandits. The little Taoists cried. What are you afraid of? Isn't there someone lying in this Tao house? If the 100 Medicines sect is in trouble, ask him to help. Tell him that if he can't protect the 100 Medicines sect and the purple myrtle pond, no one can save Yang Nuan. Old man Qian cursed the little Taoists who were kneeling on the ground in frustration. Then, he turned into a ray of light and left the hidden sea star. Very soon, the news that old man Qian was going to leave the 100 Medicines sect for a few years spread across the entire sect. It even spread across the entire hidden sea star at an astonishing speed. Most of the 100 Medicines sect's outer sect disciples were at the vein opening realm while the inner sect disciples were at the harmonious spirit realm. Only those with a gold core cultivation could become the outer sect elders. The inner sect elders were all nascent soul cultivators. The sect master of 100 Medicinal sect was a spirit-severing old man. His other identity was a 5th revolution pill master. With such a cultivation base and identity, it was impossible for them to protect the 100 Medicines sect in the secluded sea star where bandits ran amok. The cultivation base that old man Qian revealed in the 100 Medicinal sect was at the 5th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. His pill refinement mastery was at the low-grade 7th revolution. Other than Ning Fan, no one in the 100 Medicines sect knew about old man Qian's true immortal realm cultivation base and 8th revolution pill refinement technique. With old man Qian's departure, the entire 100 Medicines sect was thrown into chaos. In fact, this was not the first time that old ancestor Qian had left the 100 Medicines sect. It was common for him to leave for decades at a time. However, the ancient star field had been in chaos recently. The capital of the Hidden Sea Star had just been attacked by a group of bandits with green scarves on their heads, and the Star Master had been killed. Green Scarf Bandits. He was one of the 72 bandit cultivators in the ancient Star Sector. The leader of the Green Scarf Bandits was a loose immortal old monster. After he killed the Star Master of the Hidden Sea Star, he had been purging the old void fragmentation forces of the Hidden Sea Star. It was said that the 100 Medicine sect was also being purged. The sect master originally thought that with old ancestor Qian's 7th revolution pill refinement mastery, he might have a way to invite a few loose immortal experts to help the 100 Medicine sect and the entire Hidden Sea Star overcome the crisis. Now, a great disaster was about to befall them, but old ancestor Qian just had to choose this time to leave. If the Green Scarf Bandits were to slaughter their way to the entrance, who would be able to save the 100 Medicine sect? Do I really have to seek help from the young man that old ancestor Qian saved? Isn't that young man severely injured? Hasn't he been unconscious for a few years? He can't even protect himself, so how can he protect the 100 Medicine sect? What cultivation base does that young man have? Could he be a senior at the first heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm? So what if he really has the cultivation base of the first heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm? Our opponents are the Green Scarf Bandits. In front of the great army of the Green Scarf Bandits, killing one cultivator is nothing. Outside the Dao house where Ning Fan was unconscious, the sect master of the 100 Medicine sect and a few nascent soul realm elders were sighing and pacing back and forth. The sect master of the 100 Medicine sect had already sealed off the news, not allowing anyone to leak the news of old ancestor Qian leaving the planet. On the Hidden Sea Star, many forces were slaughtered and absorbed by the new Star Lord every day. One after another, cultivation countries were engulfed by the flames of war. In the blink of an eye, 3 months had passed. Gradually, the flames of war reached the nearby cultivation countries. Finally, on the 4th month, it reached the ancient medicine country where the 100 Medicine sect was located. When the army of bandits with green scarves on their heads invaded the ancient medicine country like locusts, countless cultivators of the ancient medicine country ran to the entrance of the 100 Medicine sect and begged old ancestor Qian to help. In the ancient medicine country, old ancestor Qian was the only void fragmentation realm cultivator. With his 5th revolution fragmentation realm cultivation base, he might not be a match for the Green Scarf Bandits. However, all the cultivators of the Hidden Sea Star knew that old ancestor Qian was a low-grade 7th revolution pill refinement master. His pill refinement mastery was something that even the leader of the Green Scarf Bandits would not dare to underestimate. Old ancestor Qian, please save the cultivators of our ancient medicine country. The Green Scarf Bandits are here. Can old ancestor Qian bear to see our ancient medicine country being annihilated by thousands of bandits? Old ancestor, please kill the bandits and save the ancient medicine country from danger. Countless voices of begging faintly entered Ning Fan's ears. After another 4 months of unconsciousness, Ning Fan woke up in a daze. The serious injuries in his body had completely healed. During the past 4 months, even though he was unconscious, he could faintly feel that there was a pill with a huge amount of energy inside his body. Its medicinal power was healing the serious injuries caused by the backlash of the devil sense. I'm afraid that the lowest grade of that pill is at least 9th revolution. Is it the pill that old ancestor Qian gave me? Why is it so noisy outside? Ning Fan pushed the door and walked out of the Dao house. What he saw was the cultivators of the 100 Medicine sect kneeling on the ground and begging for mercy. Outside the 100 Medicine sect, there were also countless cultivators of the ancient medicine country kneeling on the ground. In the sky, there were tens of thousands of experts who were wearing green scarves. They were flying across the sky with terrifying killing intent. Tell me the current situation in 1 sentence. Ning Fan ordered a spirit-severing realm old man beside him. He was the sect master of the 100 Medicine sect. Old ancestor Qian has left the planet. He instructed us to ask Senior to help if the ancient medicine sect is in trouble. If the ancient medicine sect is annihilated and we lose the purple myrtle pond, Ouyang Nuan will definitely die. Got it. Ning Fan looked at the sky full of bandits with green scarves wrapped around their heads. His eyes flashed with cold light. He spread his spirit sense and found the location of the purple myrtle pond. He could sense Ouyang Nuan's chi there. A group of bandits was boldly attacking the purple myrtle pond. They are courting death. Chapter 710. When the 7 ships carrying tens of thousands of green scarf bandits appeared above the 100 Medicine sect, all the cultivators from the ancient Medicine Kingdom revealed expressions of despair. As the cyan scarf bandits on one of the star boats flew towards the Myrtle Lake, despair appeared on the sect master of the 100 Medicine sect's face. On the main mountain of the 100 Medicine sect, there was a protective formation. It was a high-grade immortal void realm formation, and the source of its power was hidden under the crepe myrtle pond in the forbidden area of the back mountain. The other party attacked the crepe myrtle pond as soon as they arrived. It was obvious that they were accompanied by experts who were proficient in formations and had seen through the formation of 100 Medicine sect. It's over. Old Ancestor Qian isn't here and the grand formation source has been seen through. Our 100 Medicine sect is going to be annihilated soon. The sect master of the 100 Medicinal Herbs sect let out a long sigh. Suddenly, his eyes widened and he saw Ning Fan's figure flashing and dashing towards the purple myrtle pond. His eyes were like an eternally unmelting ice. His traveling light seemed to be much faster than old Ancestor Qian, who was at the 5th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. Could it be that this senior's cultivation base is above the 5th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm? Our 100 Medicine sect is saved. The cultivators of the 100 Medicine sect were crying tears of joy. The cultivators from the ancient Medicine Kingdom didn't know that the old man had disappeared, but after seeing someone attack the green scarf bandits, and it was an extremely strong one at that, they naturally shed tears of joy. Is there still hope for the ancient Medicine Kingdom? In the blink of an eye, Ning Fan was already standing in midair above the purple myrtle pond. He scanned the area below with his spirit sense and saw that Ouyang Nuan was inside a thatched cottage at the edge of the pond. As soon as he saw Ouyang Nuan's condition, Ning Fan's eyes darkened. Ouyang Nuan was indeed not dead, but how did she become like this? According to his plan, there shouldn't have been any mistakes, so why was he in a coma for 7 years? Why did Ouyang Nuan end up like this? Puzzled, still puzzled. Ning Fan's heart was filled with bewilderment. Everything went according to plan during the battle that day. The steel of sun and moon and the sword ancestor's sword chi forcefully killed one of the life immortals. Then, he took the opportunity to force the second life immortal away and save Wei Qi. As long as he could hold on for 10 breaths, Wei Qi would be able to slightly recover his magical power and fight against a high-level life immortal, right? At that time, Ning Fan's magic power was already depleted. He was unable to escape with Ouyang Nuan and Wei Qi using the Black Devil escaping art. He did not take them into the Yuanyao realm because ordinary small Kiliacosm cosmos treasures could not defend against the attacks of life immortals. In the beginning, he had hidden Ouyang Nuan in the Yuanyao world. That was why the 2 life immortals did not know that he possessed a small Kiliacosm cosmos treasure. After releasing Ouyang Nuan, they already knew that even if they kept Ouyang Nuan away, the small Kiliacosm would still be easily destroyed by a life immortal. At that time, he had already entered the profound Yin world once. Naturally, he would not be able to enter again within the next 3 days. It would take a lot of time to set up a corner of the formation pattern. Moreover, the formation pattern involved too many things. At that time, he was still in Shaozi Starfield. If he had set up the formation pattern and used the formation position to kill the life immortal guarding Wei Qi, it would be extremely easy. However, the horrifying fluctuation of the formation pattern would definitely attract countless life immortals to spy on it. Therefore, Ning Fan did not plan to use the formation marks from the very beginning. It was naturally impossible to have the time to set up the formation patterns when the battle was at its climax. Therefore, the only way to stop a life immortal for 10 breaths was to use the army disintegration technique. The weapon dissolution would trigger the devouring of the devil sense. However, if it was just 10 breaths of time, Ning Fan believed that Ouyang Nuan would have a way to help him suppress the devil sense. When he undid it, he only tore a small crack on the seal of the underworld wheel and drew out a strand of demonic thoughts. Under that level of devil sense, it would not be a big deal even if he temporarily lost his sanity. After all, even when Ning Fan was completely immersed in the devil sense, he could still slightly control the devil sense and fight against the old ancestor of ancient Zhang. As long as the weapon dissolution was eroded by a small amount of devil sense for 10 breaths, he would be able to stop a life immortal. Ning Fan did not expect himself to kill a life immortal. Even if the weapon dissolution technique was fully activated, it would only be comparable to a life immortal. Now that he had drawn out a small amount of devil sense, he was not a match for a life immortal at all. He just wanted to buy himself 10 breaths of time. As long as he could buy himself 10 breaths of time, Wei Qi would be able to recover 10% of his magic power. At that time, Wei Qi could easily kill a life immortal, and he could also easily knock out Ning Fan, who had lost his sanity. With Ouyang Nuan's wealth, it should not be difficult for her to help him seal a small amount of devil sense. He would probably wake up after being unconscious for 3 to 5 days. Ning Fan would never fall unconscious in front of outsiders. However, he trusted Ouyang Nuan. That was why he dared to use the weapon dissolution technique recklessly. Everything was going according to plan. The worst-case scenario was that the devil sense would completely erupt and he would return to his original state. How was it possible for him to fall unconscious for 7 years? The amount of body-devouring devil sense he had was limited. It was impossible for him to suffer such a heavy injury. Something unexpected must have happened during his weapon dissolution technique that caused Ouyang Nuan to suffer such an unforeseen event, causing her to fall unconscious for 7 years. Did I miss something on that day? Speaking of which, since Ouyang Nuan is here, where is Wei Qi? Ning Fan looked inside his body and found that the crack on the seal of his Ming wheel was terrifyingly huge. Someone deliberately tore the crack. Who was it? The crack was closed by a 5-colored force. Was that force Ouyang Nuan's power? I don't understand. I don't understand. What did I miss that day? Why was the crack torn by someone? Who did it? Why did Ouyang Nuan send me to the ancient star region? Where is Wei Qi? Wasn't he saved by me? Why didn't he protect Ouyang Nuan along the way? Are you the helper that Qian Kaiyan of the 100 Medicines sect hired? According to the information that I have gathered, there is no 7th heavenly layer void fragmentation realm cultivator in the 100 Medicines sect. Are you trying to avenge the 100 Medicines sect? Where is that old man Qian Kaiyan? Ask him to come out and talk to our big brother. He is a 7th revolution pill master. He is qualified, but you are not. All of the green scarf bandits leaped down from the ship and stood in midair, surrounding Ning Fan. The person who spoke just now was a burly man at the 8th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. His head was wrapped in a green scarf and he had leopard-like eyes and a beard. He was the 2nd leader of the green scarf bandits. In his eyes, Ning Fan was just a 7th break realm cultivator who was not his match. It was not like he had never killed a 7th break realm cultivator before. He had killed countless of them during the green scarf bandits' journey in the star region. It was absolutely impossible for Ning Fan to protect the 100 Medicines sect alone. The reason why he did not immediately give the order to attack Ning Fan was because he wanted to meet the low-grade 7th revolution pill master of the 100 Medicines sect, Qian Kaiyan. The green scarf bandits had everything. The only thing they lacked was a 7th revolution pill master and above. As soon as the leader of the green scarf bandits entered the hidden sea star, he had already heard of Qian Kaiyan's name. Qian Kaiyan's pill refinement technique was brilliant. His pill healing technique was even more brilliant. Many pill refinement masters were proficient in pill refinement techniques and could concoct high-grade pills. However, they were not good at healing and prolonging the life of others. The so-called pill healing technique was to know countless secret techniques of the Tao of pills. Even if they did not have any pills in their hands, they could still use the power of their medicine soul to save others' lives. After the green scarf bandits entered the ancient medicine kingdom, they did not kill wantonly like before. They were giving Qian Kaiyan face. They wanted to subdue Qian Kaiyan and make him their ship's doctor. The reason why they pretended to attack the Purple Myrtle Pond was also to scare Qian Kaiyan and force him to show himself. However, they did not expect that the one who was forced to show himself was not Qian Kaiyan but Ning Fan. The second leader did not put Ning Fan in his eyes. However, he still gave Ning Fan some face by not attacking him immediately. He was still waiting for Qian Kaiyan to show himself. This pill doctor was very powerful. Their boss had told them to get him. The Qian Kaiyan that you guys are looking for is not in the 100 Medicine sect. In the sect, I am the only void fragmentation realm expert who can fight you. Get out of the ancient medicine kingdom within 3 breaths and I can spare your lives. Ning Fan said with an expressionless face. As soon as he said that, all the green scarf bandits on the 7 ships fell into a dead silence. Then, they burst into deafening laughter. This man is really arrogant. Does he think that he can fight against the 70,000-strong army of our green scarf bandits alone? So what if he's at the 7th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm? I wonder how many rogue immortals have died in the hands of our green scarf bandits. This man is extremely arrogant. There's no need to hold back. Just kill him. After we kill this man and slaughter the entire ancient medicine kingdom, I don't believe that Qian Kaiyan won't show himself. When the time comes, we will capture him, plant a mental seal on him and force him to be our ship's doctor. Since he doesn't want to accept a toast, let's punish him. Amidst the laughter from all directions, countless green scarf bandits rushed down the ship like wolves and tigers towards Ning Fan. All of these green scarf bandits were experts above the void refinement realm. It was no wonder that they could travel in the universe. 70,000 void refinement realm experts, 200 void fragmentation realm experts and 7 leaders. It was said that the 2nd to the 7th leaders were at the 8th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. Only the 1st leader was a rogue immortal. Facing this group of green scarf bandits that were as ferocious as wolves and tigers, even a rogue immortal could only hope to escape. Star sacrifice arrow. Understood. Behind the countless green scarf bandits, a rogue immortal with a face full of scars gave an order. Then, all 70,000 green scarf bandits, regardless of their strength, drew a green bow and shot spiritual arrows at Ning Fan. 70,000 void refinement realm arrow lights and 200 void fragmentation realm arrow lights were enough to kill even a rogue immortal. The light of the arrow lights lit up the dark starry sky. Each of the cultivators of the ancient medicine kingdom was shocked. Are these the well-trained bandits of the ancient era? They were one of the 72 bandit groups in the ancient era star region. Even though they did not have a life immortal guarding them, even an early mortal profound realm life immortal would not dare to attack them. The green scarf bandits. Sigh. Fortunately, old ancestor Qian has left. Even if he is here, what can he do? I didn't expect these green scarf bandits to be so strong. Other than life immortal realm experts, who else can fight against them? What a pity. Our ancient medicine kingdom is really going to perish. There's one more thing that we regret. We still don't know this senior's name. He risked his life for our ancient medicine kingdom but we don't even know his name. Each of the cultivators of the ancient medicine kingdom sighed. None of them thought that Ning Fan could protect himself from the arrows that filled the sky. Even if Ning Fan's cultivation base was at the 7th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm, it was impossible for him to survive. Even if he was a rogue immortal, it was impossible for him to survive. Countless old monsters closed their eyes, bowing their heads and waiting for their deaths. Some beautiful female cultivators' faces were drained of blood and they let out a sorrowful smile. If the ancient medicine kingdom falls, they would probably become the cauldrons of others. What? How is this possible? All of a sudden, an exclamation of disbelief came from one of the children's mouth. At the next moment, all the cultivators of the ancient medicine kingdom were shocked. The 70,000 green scarf bandits were staring at Ning Fan in disbelief. Ning Fan did not dodge or evade the 70,000 arrows that were aimed at him. He allowed the arrows to hit his body, but he was not harmed at all. Instead, the sound of metal colliding could be heard. The attacks from those who were below the rogue immortal realm could not even break the defense of Ning Fan's physical body. Ning Fan's physical body could directly defend against all attacks below the rogue immortal realm. He had the physical body of a third transformation corpse devil. After completing the third transformation of the demonic corpse, he obtained two great benefits. Firstly, his lifespan was limitless. Secondly, his physical defense was comparable to a ninth sky of Nirvana realm physique cultivator. He could ignore all attacks under the level of an individual immortal. There were 70,000 green scarf bandits and 200 void fragmentation realm experts. None of the 6 leaders could hurt Ning Fan. The only one who could slightly break through Ning Fan's physical defense was the bandit leader. Die! Sword light flashed in Ning Fan's eyes. His black sword sense spread wildly in the vast sky, mincing each of the void refinement realm cultivators into minced meat. In the blink of an eye, all 70,000 void refinement realm bandits were killed. There were only 200 plus void fragmentation realm bandits left. What a powerful sword sense! It can even kill void refinement realm experts in an instant. Each of the void fragmentation realm experts sucked in a cold breath. They could not help but take half a step back. The 200 plus void fragmentation realm experts actually felt suffocated when facing Ning Fan alone. The sense of pressure that Ning Fan gave them was just too strong. It was comparable to that of a life immortal realm expert. They had been killing for a long time. Thus, they instinctively began to fear Ning Fan. All of you stand down. Leave this person to me. The bandit leader's expression was extremely solemn. He walked out of the crowd and walked towards Ning Fan step by step. Every time he took a step forward, his aura force would increase a little. Every time he took a step forward, the blood-red light of the ring-shaped machete in his hand would become a little denser. He was accumulating his blade force. He was going to kill Ning Fan with a shadowless slash when his blade force was at its strongest. Ning Fan looked at the bandit leader expressionlessly from the beginning to the end. Finally, the bandit leader's blade force had reached its peak. The general situation of the entire Hidden Sea Star was disrupted by him alone. This ray of blade light was enough to instantly kill an ordinary rogue immortal. The bandit leader was very confident that he could kill Ning Fan with a single slash. Die! With a chi sound, the bandit leader's figure disappeared. A green blade light that connected the heavens and the earth slashed down at Ning Fan's head at a horrifying speed. If this slash hits Ning Fan, he would definitely die. The residual force of the blade light would also leave a huge crack on the surface of the Hidden Sea Star. This slash had nearly exhausted all of the bandit leader's magic power. It was his trump card. This young man must die. He shouldn't have given me the chance to gather my blade force. The bandit leader laughed heartily and ordered arrogantly. The moment this young man dies will be the moment the ancient medicine kingdom is slaughtered. Boom! A loud explosion suddenly resounded, causing the bandit leader's smile to freeze on his face. Ning Fan slowly raised his palm. His palm was covered with black starlight and he directly pressed it on the blade light above his head. The blade light, which was powerful enough to kill an ordinary rogue immortal, was easily held in Ning Fan's hand. That blade light could not break Ning Fan's palm at all. The power of the blade light was rapidly weakening. Ning Fan suddenly took a step forward and clenched his fist. The green blade light immediately shattered into countless light spots and disappeared, shattered. The blade light was shattered. The strongest ability of the leader of the Green Scarf Bandit was easily blocked by Ning Fan with just a lift of his hand. It's impossible. This is absolutely impossible. Who exactly are you? Only an old monster at the life immortal realm can withstand my blade light so calmly. Since you can withstand my blade light so easily, you definitely can't be a nobody. Since when did someone like you appear in the ancient star region? The bandit leader's expression changed drastically. Each of the void fragmentation realm bandits looked at Ning Fan in disbelief. There is no need to explain to a bunch of dead people. Ning Fan took a step forward and turned into black robes. His body suddenly shattered into countless black butterflies, black tempest soul-splitting technique. After obtaining the power of the five-colored medicine soul, Ning Fan realized that his control of magic power was unprecedentedly precise. The power of the Black Tempest soul-splitting technique had also greatly improved. The overwhelming number of black butterflies drowned the 200 Void Fragmentation Realm bandits, including the bandit leader. Miserable screams came from the group of butterflies. There was a Void Fragmentation Realm bandit dying every second. 10 breaths later, the vast sky was filled with dead silence. Only the 7-star ships that were floating in the sky were left. There was not a single living person on the ships. Countless blood rain, minced meat, storage pouches and Dao fruits fell to the ground. Ning Fan, however, did not have the mood to pick them up. There were still many treasures on the 7 ships. They were obtained by the green scarf bandits along the way. Ning Fan was not in the mood to look at them. Where is the sect master of the 100 Medicine sect? Ning Fan turned back into his white robes and asked indifferently. Chapter 711. Where's the sect master of the 100 Medicine sect? Ning Fan turned back into his white robes and asked indifferently. His voice was not loud, but it gave off a bone-piercing chill. After all, he had just slaughtered the entire 70,000 green scarf bandits. This junior is here. May I know what instructions does senior have for me? The sect master took a step forward in fear and bowed with his fists cupped. Refine the flesh and blood essence of the 70,000 green scarf bandits. Sort out all the spoils and pass them to me. Yes. I want to enter the crepe myrtle pond. I don't want anyone to disturb me for the time being. Yes. Ning Fan was not in the mood to clean up the battlefield himself. He landed on the bank of the pond and walked towards the thatched cottage step by step. Ning Fan stopped outside the cottage but did not push the door open. He could feel that his arrival had caused the woman inside to feel rather uneasy. Can I come in? No. Ouyang Nuan bit her lips and said. Is that so? What exactly happened that day? Did something happen that I missed? Why did you become like this? Ning Fan sighed softly and pushed the door open. Inside the cottage, a girl in green robes was sitting with her back facing the door. When she felt Ning Fan's arrival, her shoulders trembled slightly. A few strands of her black hair that was once as black as ink had turned white. Her skin that used to be as smooth as silk was now wrinkled in many places. She did not dare to turn her head to look at Ning Fan. The death chi on her body was very heavy. It was a sign that her lifespan was coming to an end. Currently, Ouyang Nuan's lifespan was coming to an end. She looked like an old woman with one foot in the grave. Don't look. Ouyang Nuan begged helplessly. Ning Fan did not say much. He just quietly walked behind Ouyang Nuan and placed his palm on her shoulder. There was no softness as he expected. There was only a skinny feeling. Old as an old woman, Wei Qi isn't here. Ning Fan muttered to himself. Ouyang Nuan remained silent. Her eyes were filled with unerasable pain. He betrayed us, didn't he? No, he didn't. He was controlled by the centrifugal pill of the Pills sect. He didn't do it on purpose. Ouyang Nuan calmed herself down and explained to Ning Fan seriously. As soon as she turned around, she immediately realized that her current hideous appearance was completely exposed to Ning Fan. She hurriedly covered her face with both of her hands. 10 breaths. I managed to hold on for 10 breaths, but no strong reinforcements came. Instead, I was attacked from both sides. Is that so? Was he the one who tore open the devil sense seal in my body? Tell me, what happened that day, Miss Nuan? Ning Fan gently squatted down and looked at Ouyang Nuan's wrinkled face. There was not a single trace of disgust on his face. Instead, there was always a gentle smile on his face. Ouyang Nuan was too ashamed to show her face. She wanted to avoid Ning Fan's gaze and get up to escape, but Ning Fan grabbed her arm and gently pressed her back onto the chair. Sit properly, hold this ugly thing, and tell me what happened that day. Ning Fan ordered in a domineering manner. With a wave of his hand, a fur ball appeared in his hand and he threw it into Oh Yang-Wan's bosom. Oh Yang-Wan rolled her eyes at Ning Fan and said discontentedly, "It's not ugly. It's your daughter, Ning Xiaoqiu. Why do I hear this little fellow calling you Wan-Wan's mother? I'm the father, and you're the mother. Is this what you want to express?" Ning Fan teased. "No, it's not. It's just calling me randomly. I have never taught it to call me that." Oh Yang-Wan patted Furball's small buttocks angrily. "She really did not teach it to call me that way. It was Furball who figured it out on its own. The true blood spirit selection was so smart. If the man was the father, wouldn't the woman be the mother?" Furball let out a low howl, expressing that it felt wronged for being beaten. After being messed up by Ning Fan and this little fellow, Oh Yang-Wan could not help but be in a good mood. For a moment, she actually forgot about her appearance. What exactly happened that day? Your lifespan is short. What's going on? Is there anything I can help you with? You can't help me. Really? Don't worry. Don't blame yourself. I originally only have 2,000 years of lifespan left. Because I saved you, I have 20 years left. Actually, to me, whether it's 2,000 years or 20 years, it really doesn't make a difference. In the end, I can't escape death, can I? Oh Yang-Wan looked at Ning Fan quietly with a hint of a smile in her eyes. It was very warm, just like the rising sun. Have you heard of the innate medicinal body? Those who are born with the innate medicinal body will be born with a medicine soul. They are natural fifth revolution pill masters. This is not luck, but a curse. No one with the innate medicinal body can live more than 10,000 years. 10,000 years is the limit of the lifespan of those who are born with the innate medicinal body. Those who are born with the innate medicinal body will never be able to become an immortal in this life and will never have the possibility of immortality. Master knew that I wouldn't live for long. So even though he was a little stingy, he still gave me a lot of money, hoping that I would live a happy life in my remaining years. Master has given me a lot of protective treasures, but I have never worn them. Do you know why? Because I want to die. I want to die in the hands of unfamiliar devils and bandits. That way, Master won't have to go to the true immortal forbidden lands again and again in order to find the item that can save me. There were a few times when Master almost died in those true immortal forbidden lands. Do you know how much I blame myself? He gave me the 9 revolution death-chasing pill and planted an order in me. He forbade me to commit suicide and forbade anyone to kill me. He must save me. I am very grateful, but more than that, I blame myself. For some people, the longer they live, the more burdens they will bring to their loved ones. I really don't want to live anymore. Unfortunately, I met you. You let me know that it's really interesting to live. However, I have harmed you in the end. If it wasn't because I begged you to help me save someone, you wouldn't have been ambushed by Seventh Uncle. The devil sense wouldn't have invaded your body and you wouldn't have nearly lost your life. My life is the same as harming others and myself. It was me who separated the origin of the medicine soul in my body to help you seal the gap of the devil sense. It's because I was the one who caused that gap. I have lived a very, very tiring life for the past 8,000 years. I have lived enough of it. I want to spend the remaining 20 years in peace. I don't want to harm anyone. I don't want to blame myself and feel guilty anymore. I don't want to owe anyone anything. Oh Yang-Wan was supposed to tell him the truth of that day, but she could not help but tell him the things that had been bothering her for many years. She was the disciple of the sect master of the medicine sect. It would be easy for her to become an immortal. However, she couldn't achieve immortality. She was the owner of the legendary 5-colored medicine soul. She was a rare pill refinement genius that was hard to find even in 100 generations. However, she had no chance to reach the pinnacle of the Tao of Pill. Do you still remember that promissory note? That's not a promissory note. It's a bet. When I was still very young, your master and my master met each other in a gambling house on a certain cultivation planet. Both of them made a bet with 1 billion Tao crystals. Your master said that he would certainly accept a disciple in the future who could cure me. I didn't want you to be troubled because of my body. That's why I wanted to take back the promissory note. However, you misunderstood something and tore it apart. At that time, I was thinking that your master must not have told you the true meaning of the promissory note. However, you still tore it apart because you were worried that I would be troubled. I'm really very touched. No one can save me. I don't need anyone to save me either. I'm just very, very tired. Yang Yuan fell asleep due to exhaustion. Her body tilted slightly to one side and she fell into Ning Fan's arms. Faint breathing sounds could be heard. She still did not tell Ning Fan the truth of that day. However, Ning Fan had already understood the reason why she was in a coma for 7 years from her words. The reason was Wei Qi's betrayal. When Wei Qi was captured, Ning Fan initially guessed that a traitor of the medicine sect had lured him out of the Shaozi star. He had never thought that Wei Qi was actually controlled by the centrifugal pill of the pill sect and he left the Shaozi star on his own. The medicinal effect of the centrifugal pill was to control a person without anyone knowing. The medicinal effect of the centrifugal pill would last for a lifetime. Perhaps even Wei Qi himself did not know that he had been drugged by someone. When Ning Fan used the weapon disintegration style to block 10 breaths of the life immortal realm cultivator, what awaited him was Wei Qi's attack on his abdomen and back. I really missed it. Even if I activate the formation marks at the beginning and kill the 2 life immortals of the pill sect, I would most likely be sneak attacked by Wei Qi. I've missed Wei Qi. The person I wanted to save turned out to be the most dangerous enemy. However, how did Ning Fan survive the joint attack of Wei Qi and the life immortal realm cultivator? How did Yang Yuan bring him to the ancient star region? Why did she bring him to the hidden sea star? There were still some questions that he did not have answers to. However, Ning Fan did not want to wake Yang Yuan up and ask her about it. He carried Yang Yuan to the bed and gently placed her down. Then, he sat on the edge of the bed and quietly looked at Yang Yuan's sleeping face. His brows were slightly knitted. Is there really no way to prolong her life? Harry Ball snuggled comfortably in Yang Yuan's bed with a carefree look. It had no idea that its mother was about to die. A ray of traveling light landed lightly outside the purple myrtle pond. Ning Fan's eyes turned cold. He walked out of the cottage and saw that old man Qian had already returned. Didn't Senior leave the planet? Ning Fan cupped his fists and greeted him. I went on a long journey and wanted to kill a few people. However, I was worried about your character. So, I thought I should come back and have a look. Did Yuan meet you? Old man Qian's tone was a little strange. Humph. Once that girl lost her appearance, she didn't even want to meet me. How could she meet you? Sure enough, a grown girl can't be kept at home. Old man Qian's tone was sour. When he thought of Yang Yuan's current miserable state, he became speechless. Senior, do you know how to prolong the life of an innate medicinal body? Ning Fan suddenly asked. Oh. You want to save Yuan? Do you think you can get that thing with your insignificant cultivation base? Old man Qian harumphed coldly with disdain. That thing? What thing? Could it be that there's really a way to prolong Yang Yuan's life? Ning Fan's eyes flashed. There is. In ancient times, there was an immortal emperor called Great Emperor Changsheng. He created 3 pieces of longevity jade in his life. Any living being that refines this jade into their body can achieve immortality. Remember, it's any living being. Be it a mortal or a plant, as long as they can get their hands on this longevity jade, their innate medicinal body can also prolong their life. Among the 3 pieces of longevity jade, one was destroyed in the ancient war, one was lost in a true immortal's forbidden land and its whereabouts are unknown, while the last one is in the hands of Shadi of the Slaughter Palace. Which one do you think you can find? Nuan's master has been to countless ancient forbidden lands for 4 days, but he couldn't find the missing piece of longevity jade. Do you think you can find it? You can't even enter the outer area of those forbidden lands, right? Any life immortal realm or true immortal realm ferocious beast can swallow you in a single bite. Old man Qian looked at Ning Fan with disdain and snorted coldly. Ever since Ouyang Nuan carried the half-dead Ning Fan and knelt in front of him to beg him to save her, he found Ning Fan to be an eyesore. Longevity jade? Doesn't Shadi have one? Why don't you go to the Slaughter Palace and ask for it? With the medicine sect's resources, it's not like you can't get something good to exchange for a piece of longevity jade, right? Ning Fan asked doubtfully. Ask for something from Shadi. Cough cough. Little friend, you are really courageous. I'm ashamed of my inferiority. If little friend dares to go to the Slaughter Palace and ask for something from Shadi, no, the medicine sect will agree to it without hesitation no matter what conditions Shadi offers to exchange for the jade. Old man Qian looked at Ning Fan as if he was looking at an idiot. Ning Fan was like a fledgling who had just entered the starry sky and did not know how terrifying Shadi was. Asking for something from Shadi. Does this brat think that the sect master of the medicine sect has never been there before? On that day, when the sect master of the medicine sect said that he wanted to meet Shadi and ask for his longevity jade, he was almost surrounded and attacked by the experts of the Slaughter Palace. Tens of millions of years ago, there was an immortal emperor who fancied a tuft of innate spiritual herb that belonged to Shadi. He wanted to ask for it, but he was directly injured by Shadi's finger and had to leave the Slaughter Palace in a sorry state. Whatever Shadi fancied, he would definitely get it. Whatever he fancied, he would never allow anyone to covet it. Wanting to obtain the longevity jade from Shadi was harder than ascending to the heavens. If Ning Fan goes to ask for Shadi's longevity jade, his ending would definitely be very miserable, no. With his cultivation base, how would he be qualified to enter the bloody slaughter world, let alone meet Shadi? Asking for something from Shadi will result in a miserable ending? Ning Fan looked at old man Qian thoughtfully. Of course. You will die a horrible death. Old man Qian sneered. No one has ever been able to get what they want from Shadi, huh? It's not like no one has ever done it before. If one possesses the cultivation base of the inner sect of the Slaughter Palace and has made a great contribution, he or she can ask for a reward from Shadi. If Shadi is in a good mood, he might give the person what he or she wants. If Shadi is in a bad mood, he or she might just press the person into meat paste with just a finger. If I make a great contribution, I can ask for a reward from Shadi. Ning Fan's eyes sparkled again. If I present the elder token that has been lost for a long time, would it be considered as a great contribution? If I want to present the token, I must first become a disciple of the Slaughter Palace and then find a way to enter the bloody slaughter world, meet Shadi personally and present the token on the spot. If I reveal the fact that I have the elder token before meeting Shadi, I'm afraid that countless experts of the Slaughter Palace will immediately kill me and snatch my elder token. Whether presenting the elder token is considered as a great contribution or not, I still need to verify it. If this is feasible, I also need to think about how to meet Shadi step by step. Ning Fan knitted his brows tightly. Ouyang Nuan's matter had successfully made him pay attention. Wei Qi betrayed him. He was saved because of Ouyang Nuan. Although he had returned a favor, he also owed her another favor for saving his life. In the end, he still has to return the favor. I'm not in a good mood right now. I'm going to kill a few people. You take good care of little girl Nuan. If you do anything to her, I will certainly cut you into 8 pieces. Humph. The old man surnamed Xian's eyes flashed fiercely. He took a step forward and merged with heaven and earth. In the blink of an eye, he traveled a distance of a star field and disappeared. Ground shrinking into an inch. Ning Fan's eyes widened in shock. This old man Qian is really powerful. He actually managed to comprehend the ground shrinking technique. A long time after the elderly man had left, Ning Fan fell into deep thought. He had come to the ancient realm for the celestial soul herb. From today onwards, he would start searching for the whereabouts of the immortal soul herb. At the same time, he had to collect all sorts of information about the Slaughter Palace. As long as there was the slightest possibility, he would help Oh Young One get the longevity jade. He had to return the favor that he owed. Chapter 712. The water of the crepe myrtle pond would emit a faint purple mist. This fog had the ability to slow down aging, which was the reason why Oh Young One stayed here. She only had 20 years left to live. The purple mist could not extend her lifespan. At most, it could only slow down her aging. Ning Fan decided to leave the 100 Medicines sect and the hidden sea star to search for the immortal soul grass on the immortal soul star. He still needed to find a slaughter pavilion to hand over the head of the demon man that he had killed 7 years ago and buy information about the slaughter hall from there. Other than accepting and issuing missions, the slaughter pavilion also sold all kinds of information. As long as one could afford it, it was not impossible to find out the whereabouts of an immortal emperor. The best way for Ning Fan to obtain information about the longevity jade was to go to the slaughter pavilion. He had to leave secluded Sea Star, but he was not willing to leave Ouyang One alone on secluded Sea Star to die. Thus, the entire purple myrtle pond was destroyed by Ning Fan. He condensed the pond water into a piece of purple jade the size of a fingernail, threaded it with a thread, and put it on Ouyang One's neck. This way, even if Ouyang One left the netherworld star, the purple jade stone would still be able to provide purple mist to slow down Ouyang One's aging. With the destruction of the crepe myrtle pond, the 100 Medicines sect's protective array was also destroyed. The cultivators of the sect wanted to cry but had no tears. Oh Young One looked at him speechlessly. Ning Fan did not know the cost of the crepe myrtle pond, but she did. That was the spirit pool that her master had spent 10 billion Dao crystals to create. Qian Kaiyan's identity was very special. The reason he stayed on planet Secluded Sea was because he wanted to use the purple mist here to create an unaging spring pool to protect Ouyang Wan. Otherwise, why would a dignified true immortal like him have to conceal his identity and call himself an ancestor in this small 100 Medicines sect, Senior? If Senior Qian returns and sees that you destroyed the crepe myrtle pond that he spent billions of Dao crystals and countless efforts to build, I'm afraid he will fight you to the death. Oh Young One hugged Furball. Her face was covered with a green veil, and her white hair was tied up with a warm jade hairpin. She had given that hairpin to Ning Fan in the past as a keepsake for him to seek help from Qian Kaiyan. Now, however, she no longer needed it. After putting on the purple jade, Ouyang Wan's skin no longer looked as old and withered as before. It had regained some of its vitality. When she heard that Ning Fan wanted to bring her along with him, her dull eyes also lit up with a hint of a smile. This crepe myrtle pond, why is it so expensive? Forget it, the pond is already ruined, it's too late to say anything. Ning Fan shook his head helplessly. After killing the Green Turban bandits, he had seized more than 300 million Dao crystals and countless spoils of war. Among them, there was also a low-grade immortal formation disc. Using this formation disc, Ning Fan laid down an immortal realm grand formation around the 100 Medicines sect and passed it to the sect master. No matter what, Qian Kaiyan was the nominal old ancestor of the 100 Medicines sect. He had asked Ning Fan to protect the sect, but Ning Fan wanted to leave and even destroyed the purple myrtle pond and the immortal void realm sect protection grand formation of the sect. Compensating with an immortal formation to protect the 100 Medicines sect could be considered as a token of his sincerity. If Ouyang Wan was already incurable, Ning Fan might stay in the 100 Medicines sect and protect it for the next 20 years out of his desire to repay her kindness. He would accompany her for the last 20 years of her life. Now that he knew that Ouyang Wan still had a way to survive, how could he let her stay here and wait for her death? The longevity jade was hard to come by, but if one did not try, how would one know that it was impossible? Cough cough cough. Furball's dad, where are we going? The immortal soul star. Oh Young One sat on the ancient golden sword while holding the small furball in her arms. Her complexion looked a little weak and she would cough from time to time. Ning Fan, on the other hand, was riding the ancient sword while holding the star compass of the ancient star region in his hand. Then, he flew towards the immortal soul star planet at full speed. He had set up a formation around the ancient sword to prevent Oh Young One from getting hurt by the wind of the void. At this moment, Oh Young One was weaker than ever before. She could not travel in the void with her own strength at all. The immortal soul star. This star used to be the main star of the ancient star region. It was a high-grade cultivation star. The soul race on this star used to be the overlord of the ancient star region. However, due to some unknown reasons, the Slaughter Palace annihilated the soul race in a single night. All the true immortals of the ancient star region also died in that battle. Cough cough cough. Today, the immortal soul star has already become the temporary shelter of countless cultivators and bandits. If we go to the immortal soul star, we must be more careful. Oh Young One knitted her brows and coughed softly again. She tried her best to lower her voice as she was afraid that the sound of her coughing would disgust Ning Fan. She did not mind becoming ugly and sickly. However, she was afraid that Ning Fan would dislike her unsightly appearance. Don't talk too much. Conserve your strength. When we go to the immortal soul star this time, I will try to find out more about the longevity jade. It will certainly help you to prolong your life. Ning Fan smiled and held Oh Young One's skinny and soft palm. Then, he transferred traces of magic power into her body to make her feel better. His gaze towards Oh Young One did not change at all. It was not because he sympathized with her but because he did not care about her appearance. To him, all the beauties in the world were just like skeletons that passed his eyes. How do you know that the longevity jade can save me? Who told you that? Could it be? Could it be that stinky old man with the surname Qian? Oh Young One was flustered. She really had enough of living. She did not want to let the people who cared about her risk their lives to search for the jade just to keep herself alive. In order to let her live for 10,000 years, her master had gone to the true immortal Forbidden Lands time and time again to search for the jade. There were a few times where he almost lost his life. Today, Ning Fan actually wanted to search for the jade for her as well. What did she, Oh Young One, do to make so many people risk their lives for her? It's not worth it. It's really not worth it. Why do you have to do this for me? Did I beg you to do this? I just want to die peacefully. I don't want to owe anyone anything at all. You don't understand anything at all. Oh Young One was a little agitated. How about we make a bet? Ning Fan suddenly smiled. Bet? What kind of bet? Oh Young One was stunned. Let's bet whether I can extend your life or not. What do you think? To be honest, I really don't have much confidence in finding the longevity jade for you. However, if I don't give it a try, I won't be satisfied. How about this? If I succeed in finding the longevity jade for you and extend your life, you will lose the bet. You have to promise me one thing. If I can't find the longevity jade in the end, I will promise you one thing even if I lose the bet. I will help you fulfill your last wish. Do you want to bet with me? Ning Fan looked at Oh Young One with a faint smile, waiting for her answer. If you win, what do you want me to promise you? Oh Young One asked nervously. If I win, you have to spend a night with me. Ning Fan purposely put on an evil expression. Of course, it was just an act. Pervert. Oh Young One angrily kicked him, but before she could reach Ning Fan, her ankle was caught by Ning Fan's. She originally thought that Ning Fan's would bring up some serious reason, but who would have thought that Ning Fan's head was filled with shit, spending so much effort to save her, was it really just to spend a night with her, shameless, perverted, and shameless? How come she didn't realize that Ning Fan was such an unreliable man before? Ning Fan nodded with satisfaction after seeing that Young Wan's sadness had lessened a lot. He finally understood the old monster's motive for saying those shameless words in the past. At that time, the old monster said that he saved his beloved wife in order to have sex with her, causing Ning Fan to despise him. But now, it seemed like the old monster was only using his indecency to ease the atmosphere and dispel Ning Fan's worries. Okay, I'll bet. I don't believe that you can find the longevity jade and save me. If you really can. I, Young Wan, will spend a night with you. I just don't believe it. At this moment, Young Wan regained her valiant and heroic spirit. She even dared to accept such a bet. Compared to her previous state of waiting for death, the current Young Wan once again had the ardent desire to live. Even if the hope of survival was very slim, she was no longer pessimistic. At this moment, she wanted to live. Ning Fan nodded his head in satisfaction again. Since it could rekindle Young Wan's hope of survival, the existence of this bet became meaningful. He did not mention what would happen if he loses, and Young Wan also did not ask about it. If Ning Fan loses the bet, Young Wan would die. Neither of them wanted to see this result. The sword light flashed for 10 days. 10 days later, a scarred cultivation planet covered in blood mist appeared in front of them. The Immortal Soul Planet. The Immortal Soul Planet was once a high-grade cultivation planet. However, it was massacred by the Slaughter Palace. The baleful blood mist had yet to disperse, and the spiritual chi on the planet had become extremely thin due to the great battle in the past. This planet was no longer suitable for cultivators to cultivate. However, due to its special location, it became the temporary resting place for many Ancient Realm bandits. The Ancient Realm Star region was a place where bandits ran amok. Killing people and robbing their treasures was almost a common occurrence. During Ning Fan's journey to the Immortal Soul Planet, he was attacked 37 times within 10 days. These bandits were either Void Refinement Realm experts or ordinary Void Fragmentation Realm experts. None of them were a match for Ning Fan. Occasionally, there would be a few rogue Immortal Realm bandits blocking his way. However, they were all killed by Ning Fan with a raise of his hand. There were many bandits in the Ancient Realm, but there were no true immortals among them. The strongest bandits were the 10-life Immortal Realm bandits. Each of the 10-life Immortal Realm bandits led a powerful bandit army. Each of them occupied a mid-grade cultivation planet that had yet to lose its spiritual chi. These 10-life Immortal Realm bandits were called the 10 Heavenly Monarchs of the Ancient Realm. The 10 bandit armies of the 10 Heavenly Monarchs and the other 62 bandit armies, including the Green Scarf bandits, made up the 72 bandits. The 72 bandits were enemies but not friends. Therefore, even though Ning Fan had annihilated the Green Scarf bandits, he would not offend anyone. If there are other bandit armies that attack Ning Fan, their motive would definitely not be to avenge the Green Scarf bandits but to kill and rob their treasures. Chi, the ancient sword light, pierced through the layer of blood mist of the Immortal Soul Planet and descended towards the only massive cultivation city on the planet. This city was called East Soul City. It used to be the capital of the Immortal Soul Planet and was occupied by the Soul Race. After the Soul Race was annihilated, a slaughter pavilion was built in the city and it took control of the entire city. Other than East Soul City, there were no other cultivation cities on the Immortal Soul Planet. The boundless land that came into view was a blood-red desert. Occasionally, some bandits would enter East Soul City in order to pay for rewards, post rewards, or gather information. Gradually, countless cultivation shops were built in the city. Of course, the owners of the shops were all bandits. Occasionally, there would be cultivators who did not know the background of East Soul Planet. They would buy precious magic treasures and spiritual herbs from some shops and reveal their wealth. However, as soon as they stepped out of the shop, they would be killed and robbed by the bandits in the shops. Due to the reputation of the Slaughter Pavilion, even the 10 great heavenly monarchs of the ancient realm did not dare to carry out a large-scale massacre in East Soul City. Occasionally, there would be casualties in the city. However, they were all small-scale battles which did not affect the overall situation. When they arrived outside the city, Ning Fan kept the ancient golden sword and entered the city side by side with Ouyang Nguyen. There was no one guarding the city gate. The long streets were filled with bandits with strange appearances. 4 burly bandits with black snake tattoos on their left arms were squatting at the side of the long street. They were drinking strong wine while facing the sandstorm that filled the city. The 4 of them were at the 8th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. As soon as they saw Ning Fan and Ouyang Nguyen approaching them, the 4 of them sneered coldly. Their eyes turned sinister. Without needing any reason, they directly tried to kill Ning Fan and Ouyang Nguyen. They have black snake tattoos on their left arms. They are the members of the Black Snake Bandits. The Black Snake Bandits are one of the 72 bandits. They are not a force of the 10 heavenly monarchs. They love to rob and kill cultivators who pass by. My weak body can't be hidden from those with discerning eyes. Besides, the cultivation level you revealed is only at the 7th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. They must think that we are weak and easy to bully. That's why they want to kill us and rob our treasures. Ouyang Nguyen secretly transmitted her voice to Ning Fan. Do I really look so weak and easy to bully? Ning Fan chuckled. Suddenly, his eyes were filled with immense killing intent. He pointed his finger and a ray of black devil flame shot out from his finger and split into 4. The devil flame flashed and disappeared. The 4 burly bandits were immediately engulfed by the black devil flame. In just a moment, the 4 of them let out a miserable shriek and were burned into 4 piles of ashes by the devil flame. As for their storage pouches, Ning Fan casually took them away. His skillful action made countless bandits who were paying attention to him feel embarrassed. Ning Fan was a professional when it came to killing people and robbing their treasures. In the dark, countless bandits sucked in a cold breath. Their eyes were either filled with fear or respect as they looked at Ning Fan and his group who were leaving calmly. In the ancient realm where bandits ran rampant, the strong had always been respected. Ning Fan had killed 4 8-break realm cultivators with just a raise of his hand. His strength was comparable to a rogue immortal. No one dared to underestimate him. Isn't he old devil Qian Qiu who rewarded us with 30 million Dao crystals? TSK. 30 million Dao crystals is really tempting. Unfortunately, he is just too strong. We can't get his head. A few bandits flipped through the bounty posters in their hands and sighed. They were just low-grade void fragmentation realm cultivators. They were no match for Ning Fan. Oh. 30 million Dao crystals. Even if we can't get it, it doesn't mean others can't. One of them shifted his gaze towards a dark corner. There were already many rogue immortal bandits who were tempted by Ning Fan's bounty. This brat has killed the 4 leaders of the Black Snake Bandits. That old devil Black Snake will certainly not let this matter go. At this moment, that old devil Black Snake is handing in the bounty mission in the slaughter pavilion. Judging from the direction that old devil Qian Qiu is heading towards, it seems like he is also going to the slaughter pavilion. Hee. There is going to be a good show in the slaughter pavilion. That old devil Black Snake is the most protective one. He would never allow anyone to kill his own bandits. Some bandits who had nothing better to do sneered and followed behind Ning Fan from a distance. They wanted to go to the slaughter pavilion to watch the show. Ning Fan frowned. However, he did not kill the bored bandits behind him. This place was already very close to the slaughter pavilion. It was not advisable to kill near it. Ouyang Nguyen walked for a long distance and her face began to turn pale again. It seemed like she wanted to tell Ning Fan something. Just as she was about to open her mouth, she coughed softly and could not speak a word. Ning Fan's eyes turned gentle. He gently held Ouyang Nguyen's hand and transferred his magic force to her. Ouyang Nguyen's expression gradually eased. She retracted her hand imperceptibly and transmitted her voice to him. In the Eastern Heaven Immortal world, there is a slaughter pavilion on the main planet of every mid-grade star region and above. The pavilion master of the slaughter pavilion on a mid-grade cultivation planet is at least a rogue immortal realm cultivator. Occasionally, there will also be a life immortal realm cultivator guarding the pavilion. The pavilion master of the slaughter pavilion on a high-grade cultivation planet is at least a peak ghost profound realm cultivator. Occasionally, there will also be some true transcending realm true immortals guarding the high-grade slaughter pavilion. This slaughter pavilion is built on the immortal soul planet. Its pavilion master is at least a peak ghost profound realm cultivator. Cough cough. Ning Fan transferred some magic force to Yang-wan and said with a faint smile. Are you trying to tell me not to cause any trouble near the slaughter pavilion and offend this pavilion master? Yang-wan answered softly. Don't worry. I know my limits. I won't act recklessly in a place like this. Ning Fan's eyes turned cold. He entered the slaughter pavilion side by side with Yang-wan. As soon as they stepped into the slaughter pavilion, a trace of spirit sense which was filled with immense baleful chi immediately scanned the two of them. Soon after, a soft exclamation of surprise rang out from the slaughter pavilion. The interior of the pavilion was not spacious. Countless bounties were hung on the walls on both sides. There was still a counter in front of them. An old man with a black snake tattoo on his left arm was leading a group of people to submit their tasks. Their expressions were extremely respectful. On the counter, there were 7 human heads. All of them were the heads of the bounty devils. The eyes of the slaughter pavilion master did not look at those human heads nor did he look at the old man with the black snake. Instead, he briefly glanced at Yang-wan. Eventually, his eyes stopped at Ning Fan with an inexplicable feeling. The sound of surprise was made by this person. It was a burly man who was on the verge of breaking through to the true immortal realm. He had a tall and sturdy body. His black hair was like a waterfall and his face was covered with a blood ghost mask. The mask was a spiritual equipment that could conceal the person's appearance and aura. The burly man's eyes stayed on Ning Fan for a long time. Suddenly, his eyes flashed with a hint of a strange smile. He smiled. The moment the old man with the black snake and the others saw the smile on the ghost-face pavilion master's face, they broke out in cold sweat. They looked at Ning Fan with sympathy because they knew that once the ghost-face pavilion master revealed a smile, it meant that he was going to kill someone. Ning Fan would die. You're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.